are back again. It is the All or Nothing Show. I am Austin, and this is Brock and Griff Dog. And we're on here today. We're going to talk about a few things that we have planned out, but also we're going to do a drink review.
All right, so today I was the drink lackey, the one that needed to bring them, since Austin is usually the provider. So
I got them in like a little lunchbox too,
well,
so they
I
don't
wanted
lose
to
temperature.
keep them cold. I even filled a bag of ice too. I gotta keep my boys hydrated.
Yeah. That's right.
So I figured, I haven't tried the Rain Inferno. So these are actually, they call them Inferno because they have a thermogenic added in, as well as
Getting shredded out here.
Summer
caffeine.
shredding.
So we're gonna have some pit stains by the end. But I figured an interesting one to try would be the jalapeno strawberry.
Whoa.
So kind of a weird flavor decision. Spicy and strawberry. So I'm kind of curious, will it taste like the strawberry candies in a grandmother's purse? Will it taste like, I don't know, maybe some sort of cayenne pepper jam?
Yeah,
or something
let's
like
kind of anticipate the taste before we even crack them open. I'm guessing I first get hit with a little bit of like a green pepper type of vibe, and then I feel like I'm gonna get hit with that sweetness of strawberry. I don't know how you put spicy in a liquid drink,
I'm almost
but I
curious
guess hot sauce is spicy.
if it'll have that little throat burning feeling.
I believe it's the capsicum that's in there on the backside.
That'll hit you with, if you burp at all, you'll feel it.
Yeah, it'll be like peppery.
Yeah.
Almost like not black pepper,
Because,
but just peppery.
It's kind of
There
scary.
used to be an Optimum pre-workout that had capsaicin in, or however you pronounce it, in there, and I would always be like, "Why am I getting this heartburn feeling when I'm working?"
It's got L-citrulline in it. Probably a really small amount, but
I don't know about you guys though. I almost feel like, and I don't feel like this with any other energy drink, but Monsters and Reigns, I'm always like, there's probably some sort of carcinogen in this or something. This is probably the equivalent of smoking a cigarette.
Good old Marlboro Red.
Yeah. It'll put some hair on your chest.
I don't know. I feel like they came out of the gate swinging with this Rain. Like they got all the regular Rain flavors. Now they got Rain Inferno, which is like their fat burner knockoff.
I haven't had any of the fat burner ones.
Which I think
I would say the label looks pretty kick-ass. Like I sent him a picture because I'm just like a bimbo with these energy drinks, but I realized that Rain had literally completely copied the same colorways as Bang,
yes.
Which of course makes sense, kind of what they're trying to make competitor. But I like how these are a very standout look, where it's in concrete almost, and it's pretty unique. Definitely out of all the drinks I think we've tried so far, this one and the Baja Blast seem to really catch my eye the most.
Yeah. No, this does look different.
Yeah.
And I think them trying to copy Bang so hard with the regular flavors is probably hurting them because they don't stand apart that well.
True. Because especially when I'm in the gas station, a lot of times I'm it's almost similar flavors too and similar design, and I'm usually okay, well, I'm gonna go for the one that I already know that I like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The old Bang.
True.
All right.
Shall we crack them?
Let's crack them.
All right. Uno, dos, tres. A little bit late to the middle crack.
My mom was calling me. I was
like,
now.
Hold on. Do we need to check IDs? Because there's a big warning, not for 18 years or younger on these bad boys.
Now.
Okay.
20 now. Get ID'd at GNC for this. But that'd be funny if you get ID'd for you can't buy this pre-workout, sir.
Tastes like a pepper.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, God.
And I got it up my nose a little bit, so I was
scared.
wondering if that was part of the flavor too.
Whoa.
I feel like I need to dip a pretzel in this.
Whoa.
It hit my nose too.
Yeah.
Right up in here.
It's not spicy, but it's
It's got that almost as you exhale, you get a weird
this is unique.
red pepper seed.
Oh, so I'm not hating it, but it's so different that I don't know what to think.
Yeah, I don't know whether I like it or dislike it. I don't know how you get a food like a jalapeno in liquid, but they've done it. This is it. This tastes just like it. I mean, if you're a huge jalapeno guy, I mean, this is your new daily driver.
I want to say it's not spicy, it just has that flavor.
Dude,
yeah, it's not spicy. You just anticipate or you associate the spiciness with that taste, I feel like. So
but
you're
it's still pretty strong with strawberry, I find.
Every time
I
I take a sip, it goes into my nose. Like
I don't get the nose
like
effect.
maybe because I have a deviated septum.
Oh, do you really?
Too much blow.
Well, you told me that you do. Why do you have a deviated septum?
I got my nose broken when I was younger.
Same.
Yeah, elbowed.
Street fight.
Yeah.
Back in my
I
days.
wish.
I'm the only one just breathing
There's
through the
nice
nostrils.
clean lines you
yeah.
got, the clean
Yeah.
chin and clean nose.
I
Yeah.
got like one
My shit's all
nostril that
fucked
will
up.
like half close and the other one just.
You had like some like crazy. Didn't you get some surgery to fix it or
I had a
something?
nose job.
Rhinoplasty.
Yeah.
And the inside too. They had to hollow them out again.
Yeah. I almost got mine done when I was
times.
like 15, but I don't know what fell through. Or I might have backed out. I don't remember, but they were telling me how they were going to do it. You break your nose again and like reshape it and you do the rhinoplasty on the inside and like really mold it.
I think I told you guys.
Fuck that.
After I
Made
broke
me
mine
sweat.
and had gotten surgery, the bone would continue to go back in the same way that it was before. So every day I had to set it straight again. So
And forget it.
yeah, that was not fun. It changed the way that I sleep too.
I was about to say, would you be so scared to sleep on the side of your face?
Yeah, because every night they would say, well, gravity will push it back down to the way it was. So
You wake up and your
I
nose
used
is
to always
flattened.
sleep like this. Yeah. And then I started sleeping on the other side.
It's
after.
making me sweat thinking about it.
like slowly just tilting over.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me sweating or like I'm already sweating from this. Like I'm
Maybe.
already feel heated up. Like what's the deal?
You're just warm. You're
Maybe I'm
nervous.
just warm. I am nervous.
It's
I don't
the
know.
shirt that Griffin's got on right now. It's getting you,
It is.
getting you excited.
There's fucking
Yeah.
titties over there, dude.
We're just over here in some
It
cotton
does have some
t-shirts.
nice pecs. Like no homo.
Yeah.
They're fucking
They could be better.
flopping.
Yeah.
Flopping isn't a very
Well,
complimentary
They got nice.
term.
They got nice.
They're flopping.
They got nice volume.
Voluminous.
Volume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, meet me after the pod.
All right, boys. All right, so what are y'all thinking? Like, I don't know where to go. I'm just gonna drop a number that's like right off the top of my head. I'm giving it a 5.7. Just because I don't love the pepper. I'd rather not be in there, but I don't
would,
hate it.
Yeah, I would consider this in the same category as like the birthday cake bang, a nice novelty to try, but I would never really pick it up again after I tried it, if that
No.
makes sense. And
Tastes
it's not even that like while I'm drinking this, I'm not like, oh, this is disgusting necessarily, but it's just like, no, not for
Here's
me.
what I would say about it is if you buy this, just know that you're buying exactly what you think you're going to get. So it's like if you buy this and you're upset that it tastes hot like jalapeno, or like right now, like we were kind of expecting it to not quite be exact on point.
Yeah, it is.
But we're telling you right now, if you get this drink, it's exactly what you'd expect when you read the label, so you can't be upset, and you should be excited and probably rate it high. Since we didn't really expect it to actually taste like this, and we had no clue, yeah, I'm going to go with like a 5.8. I'm going to go with a 5.8 just because it's good for what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I don't like the flavor. It's like if you hate fruit punch. Like I don't really like fruit punch.
Me neither.
So if I buy fruit punch, it might be a good fruit punch. But to me,
Yeah.
it sucks because I don't like fruit punch.
Good explanation.
There are
I agree.
two other flavors. One is Red Dragon and one is True Blue. So I'm kind of curious now what those are going to be like. One
I don't know what
would probably be like
True Blue-
sriracha. That's probably
What's
menthol.
false blue? What's it called? Antifreeze?
It's like a snus packet. So
Oh.
I would say, yeah, straight 5 across the board for me.
Okay.
Red Dragon kind of makes me think of like when you're in like a Chinese restaurant and they bring out the like I think sweet and
tube
sour sauce. Yeah, the little
to
red.
dip the little. What are those cracker things called?
They're fried noodles, aren't they?
Crackers?
They don't have
You know
crackers
what I'm
in
talking
Chinese.
about? That you dip in the soup. They bring them out to your table with
Like
the
pita?
mustard
Those are
and
fried-
the duck sauce.
Fried noodles.
Are they
Pretty
chips?
sure they're fried noodles. If they look like chips or crackers, they're fried noodles, man. They're
well,
just
some,
weird noodles.
Some restaurants they make them flat. Some of them they're
Yeah.
more crunchy. But
You mean like almost? They're not like a chip per se or like a cracker, but like that comes out. It's
Similar to, like,
fried.
a pork
Where do you
it's
go
like
for Chinese
crab
around
rangoon?
here?
Yeah, kind of like that actually.
Yeah.
The best place that I found is more near Mannequin. It's called Use. And I haven't found any good places downtown.
Have you ever had
For what, sushi?
For Chinese food.
Just Chinese. I always
They
go
have
to
good General Tso's chicken.
my family and I've always gone to like Chen's, which is like off near.
My dad likes that place.
No.
Shit sounds so racist.
It's just.
Hopefully there's.
I think they really are. I think they're true Chens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
But,
Family name.
of the dynasty.
But I think yeah, they're of the dynasty. But it's like typical like Chinese takeout. Like it's not anything to write home about, but it's not like sloppy either.
I've had Chen's. I've only had it though. Granted, my perspective is from my dad would bring home Chen's from Short Pump, and I lived in Ashland, so I would have 30-minute drives worth of the food steaming itself, and then also going cold. So everything I remember from there is like, oh. And then also, I don't know about you guys, but am I the only one here who's found multiple staples in their Chinese food over the years?
What do you mean, like
Never
in your
found
food?
a staple.
Like a staple, like they went to go to a staple receipt and it went through the box?
I think it's in the meat. I think it's in the meat because it's been in like a chicken
fuck?
dish. 2 different restaurants. I've been like, is that like a crunchy piece of rice? And it's a staple.
Yo, and you don't take it
in my
back?
bite. Well, I've gotten it delivered, so and I've never paid for it
But
because
do you
once
continue
it was
going?
my
You
dad.
continue going?
Well, they've been kind of 2 kind of novelty experiences. One was a Chinese restaurant we were going to try that we never tried again. That was in Ashland.
Yeah.
And then one was actually like a month ago. It was at my aunt's house, and so we got it from Chef Lee, I believe, is the restaurant. Which fuck you. But that was out in Louisa, so I don't know. It was an experience in itself.
I've never had weird scenarios with things in like my food, but I know like a lot of people have had weird shit happen at like VCU dining hall because
dude.
like there's like mice on the first floor, there's like cockroaches on the second floor, and people found like weird stuff in their food. I don't know if I'm just ignorant, or like sometimes people found stuff and I feel like Chipotle too, and I don't know if I'm just lucky or if I just kind of like eat it and go with it. You know, it's almost like you just rather not know with some things because like sometimes, I mean, it's, even if they wear a hairnet and do this and that, like a small hair of someone's might like drop in your food, and I feel like it's not gonna hurt you. It's more like grosses you out, but it's like at the same time, like it really won't do shit. So I'd rather just like not know.
Yeah, within any industry, I feel like there's a certain degree of like, okay, let's not have the customer find out about this, and I'd rather just be ignorant and kind of let it happen, because like with the FDA, I believe there's a certain degree of like insects within food or like rat feces within food that is tolerated and still allowed to be sold.
Yeah.
And that's like actual grocery store food. That's not even like restaurant quality. So
There's like a little bit of everything that can be tolerated, I think. Like, for real, there's levels, I think, for like carcinogens and everything. Like,
chemicals in the
yeah.
water.
It's bullshit. That pineal
Soy.
gland getting fucked.
I know.
Estrogen.
So, speaking of Chinese places, I really want to go, and I never go downtown that way anymore. But have y'all heard of the Hibachi Box?
Oh yeah,
I have,
heard,
yes.
I've
Been?
heard it's like. Have you been?
Yes,
I heard it's a
I've
good
gone
deal.
multiple times. Yes, it is a good deal. It used to be over where my classes were at VCU, so a lot of times I would not be prepping my food for the day, and then I'd be like, gosh, I'm hungry. I have like a 30-minute gap between classes. Run over there. You will get explosive.
Oh shit. Toshi required.
Yeah, you will get
Bidet
explosive
required.
output about 30 minutes afterwards.
Fuck.
I think it's some
Sounds
sort
good,
of
though.
oils that they put in the food. It's
Yeah.
it's a sizable tray too.
That's what I heard.
So you will also get the itis as well.
I heard it's
But you
pretty.
get noodles, you get
yeah.
rice. They give you mushrooms, zucchini, onions, other things like that, all within your thing, and you get 2 sauces. So I would always get the yum yum sauce and then one other like teriyaki thing, but it's pretty good. And they give you salad too with the little ginger dressing.
Doesn't
so.
help slow anything down.
No, so
Yeah, I heard it's like the Chinese like Chipotle almost, but I heard you get a shit ton of
it
food.
is-
I haven't tried
you
it
do
yet.
get a lot. I would say like it's the equivalent of like how you can always get double rice, double beans, stuff
Yeah.
like that at Chipotle. They kind of do the double, but it's for the filler stuff at that place. But you do get a sizable amount of whatever your protein is, though.
Damn.
But I don't know. I would say like it's definitely not on par with like a actual sit down hibachi place. But for a quick fix, it's good. But I just feel like I don't associate it with like a good experience, because every time I'm like, well, I'll give it another shot, and then
Same
a little
thing.
while later it's like, oh.
I have a weird feeling about sometimes like food like that because Maddie and I, when we picked up our dog, like about a month and a half ago. We were coming back from like Pennsylvania, and I don't know if we were in Pennsylvania when we got the Burger King. I think we did because we were only like an hour coming back.
Impossible.
But that no.
Oh.
I got
Brock goes. When you get to
I think it was a double, so it was like 2 patties, and it was just a double cheeseburger with bacon, and the bacon was so sweet, it was crispy, it was perfectly cooked. The burgers were like legit, because when you go to like McDonald's, Jesus Christ, McD's. When you go to McDonald's, you get like the tiny little like patty. The bread's like all of it. It's so thin, it's awful. Burger King, it was like it almost looked like it wasn't frozen. Like it was that good that it looked so good that if I didn't know shit about fast food, I would have thought it was like handmade, and it was amazing. And then the fries were good, the nuggets were good, and we were like, shit, we've been like sleeping on Burger King for a while.
I've only had their chicken fries.
What?
You haven't had a burger from Burger King?
Dude.
No. Well,
it sounds like we're going to have a bro.
All right.
Bro out
They're not
soon,
okay.
dude.
Let me finish this. They're not amazing, but traditionally, like I was like, okay, like it's all right. It's fast food, but this one was amazing. I was like, oh shit. And even Maddie, she got a chicken sandwich, which for some reason they put it on like this sub bread, and that shit was good. So, was it yesterday? Yeah, we went to Burger King and we're like, okay, we'll do that after like a workout, and.
Voluntarily going to fast food.
I know, just because of how
One
good that
team
experience
problems,
was.
dude.
And
Falling off the deep end.
we went to the one in Short Pump, which you'd imagine like a wealthier area, it should be good. And we both got we both got chicken sandwiches, and I unwrapped it, and it just looked soggy as fuck. The bun was already like flat and gross. The chicken wasn't like the chicken was okay. The nuggets were overcooked. Like and after I ate it, which is where I'm going with this, after I ate it, I just instantly regretted it. I felt sluggish and tired. I felt like I was picking up each leg individually to walk, and I was like, damn, I regret eating this food. Like I felt like I needed some fresh berries, so I kicked my like body back in normal gear.
Damn, and these people want $15 minimum wage. No, growing up we would eat Arby's, Wendy's, ChickfilA, and sometimes Hardee's. But one thing I was going to ask you guys, because when I used to work construction, I used to notice this, is do you ever go into a restaurant, or not restaurant, but fast food joint, and older people will be in like their Sunday best getting a burger?
Like a date.
Yes, and I'm like covered in caulk and sweaty and just like with the construction
Sloppy
crew.
as shit.
Yeah. And it's weird to just see people like it's
I
like
think they
50%.
grew up on that. Like back in the day, it used to be a more quality place to eat, and now it's just obviously a shit show.
Yeah.
Most places.
It's just funny to me because like I can almost imagine like a slow fade in like a movie of maybe pulling the hot rod up to the drive-thru before we go to the drive-in movie, and now it's just like, what you want?
Fuck you want?
I feel like the one thing that surprised me though is I feel like Chick-fil-A is so different from every other fast food place.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Because alright, I'll start off with the food. The food alone doesn't make me feel shitty, even though it's fried like chicken, or you can get the grilled options, like even the fries. I don't feel crappy after I eat it. I can like justify it somewhat with the macros. Like I never feel bad after eating it, and I can almost justify it as like not healthy, but I can fit in my diet. And then let alone the service is like another level. Like they absolutely, excuse me, the jalapeno kicking up a burp, but they absolutely are just another level of like taking care of you. Even the people that I know from my high school that might normally dress like a degenerate, that when they're there, they're dressing nice, they're yes sir, yes ma'am, it's my pleasure to serve you, all this stuff top notch, they're always smiling, like no one's just there like, yeah, like what you want, or they're just ghetto or whatever it is. It's like actual, just a quality experience. And so I feel like you could actually go there in your Sunday best, have a nice meal and sit down there, and it's so like family friendly versus a McDonald's. There's straw paper on the floor,
ice cream machines
broken, like dude at the register shirts untucked, like all these little things. And I just feel like the profit margins maybe a little bit smaller for Chick-fil-A, but it's like,
and they're closed on Sunday,
so they're literally losing a seventh of their revenue probably,
which creates also I feel like a Pavlovian response to where I only ever think about Chick-fil-A on Sunday.
Typically. But it just blows my mind though. Like why aren't other restaurants like stepping up their like customer service to like be better and just to be a better like experience when I mean, Chick-fil-A is in such high demand, especially around here.
So I don't mean to like get into the business side of it, and I don't know the whole back end of how they vet their employees, but it seems like, and it shows, if you go past a Chick-fil-A, they've invested so much into their experience. Their drive-thru have like little things, tents you drive through, so you're out of the sun. Yeah. They walk up to your door. You don't go to them; they come to you.
Yeah.
And obviously with the customer service and like the friendly talking and hey, my pleasure serving you, all that shit. I think they have probably a huge vetting process for employees. Probably still not the top tier of people, but way better than just like McDonald's saying, "Hey, you want a fucking job? Yeah, we'll hire you," type deal.
I think it's just really how you like train your employees too. Because
that too, yeah.
I knew a lot of people, like when I worked at Wegmans for briefly, they hired me and some other people to like work there, and a lot of the people that got hired along with me, they weren't like top tier professional people by any means.
No.
But they make us go through literally a training course on customer service, like multiple training courses, because Wegmans is known for having the best customer service every day. It's not like they just have a standard set so high for how you treat customers. So, they have you literally go through these like training modules on just how to treat people. It's mostly common sense, but stuff like that. And but I tell you what, it works when I'm there. I mean, generally I try to be a good person, so it wasn't hard for me to like be helpful and go out. But like even like the other people that I feel like would be unhappy working there, they're smiling, they're having like they're giving their best, and it's just interesting how like you have that standard set, and you actually like put time and money into training these people to actually be nice, and I feel like you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
Contrast that with the downtown Kroger, where the creepy old man is. I never went back to the Lombardi Kroger because one of the employees there was like, "Yeah, I beat off to gay porn every day before I come in here," and just like, "Oh,
you like to see homos naked?
It's a Tuesday at like 6 p.m. Okay, well, see you later."
Like to see homo naked? That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool, bro.
I was gonna ask y'all though, thoughts on Taco Bell?
Never been.
What?
Never had
It's
it.
a guilty pleasure. Chick-fil-A is the pastor's daughter that you want to marry, but Taco Bell is like
the
New York business trip escort that you bring back to go.
You always see her. You always wait till you're super fucking wasted to go see her too. Most of the time,
Yeah.
if you're drunk, it's
fuck,
like,
this
"Where's
is gonna
Taco
be
Bell
good."
at?" After it's 1 a.m. Where's the Taco Bell?
Where is she?
Time to smash this thing.
Yeah,
And
it could be the same as dog food. I'm eating
It's
it.
it's the best bang for your buck, of course, as well. You can stack.
I feel like Cookout's like the closest thing that I've had.
Cookout
because
is pretty
I used to, when they opened it up in Short Pump, I used to go, not frequently, but like once a week or, somewhat like that. And, within $8 you can get, hush puppies, fries, a burger, chicken, and even like, an extra $1 throw in a milkshake. It's like you can get so much for like so little. But then again, when you eat it, it's like, it's good. It doesn't taste weird or bad. But then you just know, you're like, this can't be quality. And then when it's in your system, you're like, I don't know. Wasn't so good.
Well, the other thing I would say, especially with Cookout, is because I'd only gone a couple times in high school, but the one that we went to, it was just a drive-through, and I went to the one near Laburnum, and I went in to eat actually, and it was surprising to see, like, it's such a high calorie amount for such a small amount of food.
Huge.
And then also it's so cheap too. Like I can see all the employees in here are like 300 pounds. And no wonder for like your lunch break, if it's like you can maybe get a discount on what you get there, but also just smelling that all day, I feel like it's gotta be
a tray.
tough.
The only fast food I justify in my mind, I'm sure a lot of people will rip me for Chipotle, but Chipotle and ChickfilA. I feel like,
Do you consider that fast food?
I do with Chipotle because it is definitely technically fast food because you're in and out pretty quickly. But additionally, like, the food is, I don't know, you see it cooked and prepared in front of you, though. Or not in front of you. So, but at the same time, like, it's definitely, I know from people that have worked there, they have a bunch of preservatives on things. And I mean, we hear other stories. So it's like, it's not like, fresh food market Trader Joe's or something. But at the same time, I feel like I can justify, okay, even if these tomatoes or chicken's a little, been preserved by whatever kind of, shit they put on it, at least I know it's like whole foods for the most part. It's not like a shit ton of saturated fat or oils. Like it's kind of, made in a sense right in front of me, and I can choose what's in there. And so, and I don't know, a lot of people like really get their system fucked up from like Chipotle. I have no problem downing a whole bowl, feel good in my belly, digest fine. I feel like it's great.
We went also to the Arnold, and we tried White Castle, and then what is that Canadian one?
Fuck.
Not Harris Teeter. It's some
Tom.
No,
not that one.
It's
not Tim Hortons.
Tim
Hortons.
Horton,
Tim Hortons. Yeah, we had that
I don't
too.
know. I didn't think it was anything to write home about.
Yo, Tim Horton. When we were in Ohio coming back this past year, there was one right near our Airbnb, and we got this waffle like sandwich. It was 2 like Eggo-sized waffles with a sausage, egg, and cheese in between, and the sweetness that was on like the waffles left this like sugary coat on your teeth after you ate it, to where it was like so strong and maple syrupy sweet. It was delicious, but like you just felt instantly like I feel bad for putting my body through this. Like you felt like you just abused your body like a whore. Like you just felt so bad because again you just felt that sugary coat just in your mouth, and you're like, why'd I do this?
Handle it.
Yeah, and I think we got a hash brown too. Yeah.
Damn.
So, did you have a topic you wanted to start
Yes.
off with?
Well, first
Yeah,
off,
we can get off the food
it's
topic.
one thing. I know we're a bunch of fat fucks. One thing that I wanted to hit on, and I hopefully one of y'all can pull y'all's phones out if you haven't seen it yet, is gyms starting just to reopen. Outside of their law, outside of their government.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'm all for it.
One particular, well, 2. There's one out in California that opened. Actually, got arrested. The owner did, but I think they released him because there was outrage and shit like that, and people were like, "Yo, it's fucked up, man. He's just trying to, make a living, run his business." So I think they released him. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But then one just opened today up in New Jersey. It's called Atlas Fitness, and hardcore powerlifting, bodybuilding gym up in New Jersey. And the guy, Ian, was just on Fox like this past week talking about, hey, this is messed up. We're trying to get back to work. The governor told us, just 2 weeks. We gave them 2 weeks to figure out a plan for us to be able to get back. So we followed their orders for 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 3, turned into 4, turned into 2 months, 3 months later. We're still not open, and blah, blah, blah. He's like, it's time to get back to work. Yeah. And, under the governor's orders, it is nothing open to the public. And he was like, our members are not public. They are part of a membership.
Oh, true. That's
He's like, so under law, we're only letting in our members. We aren't going to let in outside day passes or anything like that. That's members only, so we know who is in the building, who is not in the building, what time they checked in, how many people are in the building, so on and so forth. And they just posted a video today. They had the news there and everything. The cops ended up showing up right when they opened. And cool breakdown, I guess, if we don't have time to pull up the video, is cops showed up and they were like, hey, everybody quiet down. We just wanted to come over here and let y'all know that everybody in here is in violation of, social distancing via the governor, blah, blah, blah. But
I never want to hear that term again.
I know, right? And everybody was like fucking, yelling. Everybody, and the gym owner was like, calm down.
Sorry, I thought this was America.
We're trying to listen to the cop. Let him talk. And the cop was like, but on that note, be safe and you'll have a good day. And just walked away, and everybody started cheering, and they went into the gym.
I was gonna say, what if the gym
opening
was what set off like the citizens' revolt or something like that?
Yes.
My thing about all this, I've had so many conversations with like friends or family, and it's just every time like we get on this like topic, I feel like I just piss people off, so I don't really want to get into it too much. But point is, I just feel like it's time to get back to work. Like everyone knows like the risk if you feel unsafe, then stay home. And the person's argument is like, well, if you go out, you could get the mailman or get someone sick that eventually gets over to like my grandparents or something. And I get it, and but you're playing off like the most random small percentage scenario that's going to happen.
Yes.
And we can't just put the economy on hold forever, because again, that starts to kill businesses that, people put their life into a certain small business, and the next thing you know, something like this can completely just derail their entire company.
It would be worse long term for them to have bankruptcy and lose everything that they built than for somebody to get sick and potentially not die from it.
Potentially get sick
and potentially not even die.
The thing is, like, again, like the fatality rate is so small, and I think it's being inflated. I won't even get into that, but it's like, it's just, I don't think it's more serious than the flu. I will agree with that, but it's like not serious enough to, shut down the government in a way that's not only taking jobs and putting families in stress, but probably, sending a lot of people into dark places where they do take their own life, or where they do, causing more divorces or causing more stress on these families that they may not be able to recover from, even with a stimulus check. You can't just solve these major issues with throwing money at it.
And what I was going to say with that, too, is, it initially was the extension of that stay at home for the sake of flattening the curve. And now it's like, oh, well, we need to wait till we have a vaccine and this and that.
So they don't even have a plan.
Also, yeah, well, the other thing I would say, too, to that is, why is it that the small businesses must remain closed, but certain things like Target,
like Lowe's
Walmart,
is open,
Amazon,
wide
all that
open,
stuff,
too.
wide open, to where this is just going to swallow them up now. So I am very curious about that.
Freaking Northam finally opened it up a little bit, but then you know what happened is the mayor of Richmond.
Yeah,
I'm like,
mayor.
oh my
Tar
god,
and feathered.
these people, dude. If anyone votes for these dickheads, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, anybody with an actual living, hopefully won't, because you're getting affected 100%.
Yeah. Actually, not to get off topic, but speaking of like voting for dickheads, the guy who he's around here, but he keeps getting into office. His name is like something Morrissey.
Yeah, Joe Morrissey.
I always hear from people that I've trained that have been in law or government that like he's just a very interesting kind of skeezy character that somehow continues to get put back up into office somehow. It is interesting.
I think I don't know the guy. And I don't know if I want to talk about him because I've heard things too.
Oh, I am.
But,
well, that's
since
what
he's
I'm
a
just
lawyer
saying. Like
and-
Coming
similar
after y'all.
kinds of things.
Serious.
Like
I don't know.
I'm just
I don't really-
surprised
No
that
comment.
like
Dead
who
serious. I don't know.
votes for this
I've
person with
heard-
this checkered past.
I've heard probably similar things that I would talk to you after this about from people that I've
Yeah,
worked
not
with
to get
closely.
too off topic,
Yeah.
but it's just like when you said who votes.
I
for
guess
these
since it's so
dickheads.
close to home.
Yeah. Oh, good point.
So yeah, but no, I've heard the same thing. Probably some of the same things. Probably whatever. But
Yeah.
anyways, I mean, everybody. I still believe up and down that most people had this back in February or already got it. Like because it's COVID-19. It was found out in 2019, and I swear I'd gotten it back in
is
February.
that actually what the name is?
Yeah, it's because there's
Okay, I
different
didn't wanna
strains of COVID, and
Well, I knew
19 is
that.
the year it was found.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like a just coincidence. Okay.
No,
Why
so
did they not call it like AIDS 89?
I don't know. I guess
for that
because
particular
AIDS
disease.
is AIDS.
Oh, true.
And there's like multiple different forms of COVID.
Well, what about coronavirus? Isn't that?
Well, I guess it's the
That's
same
just,
thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's technically a different name, but it was found in 19. So
magnesium.
when Sarah went to Germany with her family back in January-ish, they were over there for a week and a half, came back. I immediately got sick after she got back. Her parents got sick immediately after they landed back, like wrecked. And I got, this past time I got sick back in February, I was wrecked for like,
I remember you were sick. Yeah, you were
Wrecked.
bad. You weren't really as respiratory though, but it still
It
hit
was
you hard.
mucusy and I drained, shortness of breath, didn't feel like leaving the couch for like 4 days straight. And it took me like a week and a half to finally like just get back to regular life. I still didn't like lift for like at least a week and a half, if not 2. But I'm young, dude, so.
Yeah, I wonder if I had it too, because I know if y'all remember.
Yours sounds
I was,
more like it.
Coughing so long.
Yeah, you had that cough.
When were we at Chipotle
Yeah.
that night? Because
It was
I got
December,
sick
I think.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And then it lasted until like almost mid-February.
Patient zero over
So,
there.
yes. So I tried to cough on as many as I could.
Herd immunity. Herd immunity.
I did my part. Thank you very much.
Share it.
Yeah, but I just feel like we could ramble forever about it. But I mean, just simplest terms, like we just need to open shit back up.
Yeah.
Let people, make their living, and like you said, like we can't just live like this forever and wait for a vaccine. And who knows, like if the first round of vaccine has issues. I know the swine flu vaccine had a lot of issues too, and killed a number of people as well. So it's like,
So let me
I
ask
don't
you
know.
this. If they do make the vaccine, will you get the vaccine?
Don't ask me the question. Don't ask me the question. Don't ask a question you don't want to know the answer to.
I do want to know the answer to.
You know my answer. I don't want to get into it because I'm not an anti-vax. I guess now people know my answer. I will say no until I see a lot more people get it and they're fine. Because my thing is with my health and my age, I feel like the chance of me getting sick is already quite low. Probably, I can't say, I had to look at the statistics, but it's a really damn good chance I'm asymptomatic. And then the chance that I actually have to go to the hospital in ICU or something, the chance of me dying is ridiculously low.
Yeah.
And that's with the average person. I'm pretty healthy, and active. So with me being safe, I probably don't even need a vaccine, to survive, which is the first point. But then two, it's like I said, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but some vaccines do have issues, especially like the first couple runs. So I'm just going to wait and see. And I would probably avoid it unless I'm forced to by Bill Gates or something like that.
Yeah.
But
So I saw on a thing with Joe Rogan, and he mentioned it a little bit, and who knows how accurate his info was with him speaking it, but he was mentioning how majority, I don't know what those numbers are, majority of the deaths of COVID are ages older than the average expected age of death.
Yeah, the average.
So just normal living death, the people dying of COVID were older than that average living majority. So it's like those people technically should already be dead. I mean, I don't mean to put it in that term, but like technically that's what you're saying.
I don't know. It just sounds so like mean and awful, but it's almost like we're shutting down the entire economy for old people. Not even old people, very old people.
He said it.
I know, you put it on me. Don't hate. I feel like we're all just gonna get shunned in public now.
Man.
But
actually, it's what you feel, and that's you should put that out there.
I don't know.
I
have a family member that passed away from COVID, so it's
Same.
like I understand it. So it's not like it doesn't affect me.
There's a delicate balance. There's definitely a degree of practicality because the long-term effect of the shutdown and everything. Dang, everybody's
this Inferno,
y'all need
dude.
to just bring some Depends. But I was gonna say, I can see the understanding of that though. Like, you don't want to put necessarily like this. I don't know what the right word for it, but like you don't want to put economy profit above your grandmother, your aunt, or something like that.
No.
That could be sick. But in the same token, you don't want to just have everything. There could be long-term lasting effects of. It's not like everything is just going to be this V shape that just immediately goes back to normal. So
and it's almost, I would like to, I guess, like not argue you, but argue that scenario is like somebody that's put in 50, 60 years of their life into a business, and now it has crumbled apart.
True.
Because of being 3-ish months being closed and having to lay off their whole, going bankrupt over 50 to 60 years of their life. That's like a life sentence almost.
Especially too, like months on end. I can understand like a month or so, but months on end. And I was gonna tell you too. When I went grocery shopping yesterday, steak that is usually like for my meal prep for what I get for the week. That's usually like $14-16 was $49. The meat price is up so much, and I don't know if it's from a shutdown or like overbuying or something like that.
Get off the red meat, brother.
No, I just got soy.
There you go. Yeah. Got the what's that?
He's got this special water filter now.
Yeah, I don't like them putting chemicals.
Kagan, what is it? Keegan?
It's called Berkey. I heard about it from a lady
Keegan
named
water, or like whatever. How do you pronounce that? Kagan?
I don't know.
No clue.
Starts with a K.
I heard about it from a lady named Rhonda Patrick on Joe Rogan. She's like a nutritionist. She was talking about brain health, antioxidants, and she said that's what she had. So on the website, they had a scratch and dent section if it got messed up in the factory, which I haven't found any blemishes, but you just got $60
it just doesn't
off.
filter.
Yeah. Although I lost the first piece. I went to screw it in, and it bounced out of my hand, and I couldn't find it after that. So I had to email them. They haven't gotten back to me, but it wasn't an essential thing, but it was still like I took the oven out of the wall, I took the fridge out of the wall, just trying to find where it went. But I don't know, my own ignorance.
Damn.
What's your topic?
Oh shit! I got two simple questions. I don't feel like they were that good because I got kind of stressed trying to think of something. Yeah. But I was like, I got to bring something to the table. So I thought this one would be kind of interesting because usually people are like, okay, what is your favorite exercise? But if you could only do 3 exercises for the rest of your life, what would they be? I give you a minute.
Damn. Only 3.
I'm thinking squat, pull-ups, and incline dumbbell chest press. I really enjoy doing all of them. I feel like I can hit everything. I feel like an incline, I get some shoulder work. Definitely chest, obviously. Get a little tricep. Pull-ups, I feel good about. Good bodyweight movement. Kind of functional, too. Get my lats going. A little bit of bicep. And then squats, of course, kind of all-around leg.
I would say belt squat, pull up, and then incline cable fly. So I don't know.
Cable fly.
Those are my favorites to feel where I want to feel them. If that
I always
makes
get a lot of shoulder when I try to do incline cable fly.
When we get back to cables, I'll show you a
Sure,
variation
he'll lead
that
you
I
the
like.
way.
Show me around.
Show you how the
Belt
belt
squat
is.
though, interesting.
Belt squat, yes. Belt squat, I feel like, I don't know, I still just love that machine.
Yeah, it definitely throws a hurting on the quads. It's tough, man. I feel like if you'd have gave me 4, I'd have been set. But
What's
3,
in between?
So I'd want a pec deck in some fashion. The pec deck for like chest is like I could skip the incline, but the incline, like you said, is hitting on the shoulder. I am. That's just I am.
I just felt like, what is
my
this puddle?
lats are wet. a little
I
bit.
feel great. This week I'm like just feeling good, airing them out.
But the incline press definitely touches a lot and covers shoulders,
Yeah.
chest, triceps.
Now, would that be a plate-loaded machine?
For incline,
Yeah.
no, I'd do a dumbbell.
I like the
Dumbbell.
dumbbells.
Dumbbell.
Nice, yeah.
See the
Because I could be
Roll
able to
back.
move it around a little
the
bit.
AmFam one. I like the AmFam one.
Oh, the
where
Strive?
you can get the hammer
The
grip.
Strive,
You can
yeah.
put the plates at the different spots.
Makes
to
you feel
it in the
super
second
strong.
half. Yeah.
Yeah.
I throw it up. And
But definitely squat. So squat, pull up. I agree with pull up.
barbell squat?
Yes.
I'm a barbell guy.
Barbell.
Yeah.
I'm too stiff.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
stiff too, but
Kids.
I think if that's all I stuck with, I think I would be able to just force it.
Feels good on a good day.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than a good squat
That's
day.
good
When you're
barbell
feeling
squat.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, so I guess I'd have to do the same thing as Brock, but if I had a 4th, I'd throw in a pec deck. Just because that would be like my cherry on top. Incline dumbbell press, pull-ups,
Oh, pull-ups.
and squat.
Do either of y'all have a standout like machine you've used that you absolutely love? I know you mentioned Nautilus the other day, but
Yeah.
like I was gonna ask that. Like, what are like your favorite machine or favorite 3? I mean, I love a hammer strength. I've loved some machines in the past, but out of all the gyms I've gone to, I haven't really come across a machine where I'm like, holy shit, like this is the best thing I've ever used. Like,
I would
I don't know.
say the whatever that brand is, the chest press one.
The
that you can
Strive,
put-
yeah.
the plates on the different ones to kind of feel it in the different halves of the motion. Second one would be a single arm plate loaded row.
like the hammer strength high row. Yeah.
And then the third one would probably be, I don't know. It's probably the belt squat. I do love the
A
belt
couple that come to mind for me is that Cybex squat press that we have. It's kind of like a leg
true,
press,
true.
but I like the axis of it. They have it at the Fan. And then also, like you said, that hammer strength row. What was the
I'm not
other
a
one
big
that comes
hack
to mind?
squat guy. I don't like the hack squat.
Ooh, I
I
do
love
like a
hack
good
squat.
hack squat.
I love
Feels
the hack
good.
squat.
Yeah, you know what? For a while, the hack squat kind of fucked with me. It would kind of, at least the one, I think it was a Cybex at short pump. If I don't know if it was the way I angled my head, but I'd get like
Cybex, that's it. No, that one's horrible.
I get a concussion, dude.
I was thinking about
I'd
it.
get a
Cybex.
concussion. I'd literally get a headache after I'd use it. I guess the pressure, like my neck or something.
Angles your head.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then the next day or later that day, I'd literally I'd have a head, and I never get headaches. And I was like, that's it. That's what's pissing it off. And so now I have to like really like relax my head and like angle it a certain way if I'm there. But the one at Laburnum, it didn't give me any trouble. And like when I use a good one, it's great. But
Yeah.
I don't know. about
definitely
you
hack squat.
guys.
Oh, and last thing, and then
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you go. Is the we've talked about the hammer strength when you're lying flat like a bench press. The hammer strength
Oh,
like
sure.
chest press is pretty good.
I feel like a lot of machines or companies nowadays for machines, they put too much padding on them. I don't want my hack squat to feel like an executive office chair.
The
I want
Techno
it to
Gym.
basically feel like plywood with leather around it. Like I like to have a certain amount of, like I don't want my dumbbell bench to feel like it's like a luxury Tempur-Pedic.
I want to agree with you on that. I don't mind the hack squat and the leg press being squishy, but my chest pressing, I feel like my shoulders, like I start to slide around with the cushion.
Yeah.
When I'm dumbbell, especially dumbbell pressing, like
Yeah.
I love when I do like what do you call them, supine, just laying on the flat dumbbell presses on the ground, butter. But it's tough, obviously, getting the weights up and like throwing them. But once you're on I would love to bench press on the ground all day. For real, I love the stiff back.
I do like the floor press.
Keeps my shoulders like engaged or my
Yeah,
lats.
a couple
no.
things that I noticed like machines fuck up on is like the hoist. Of course, I don't always like the movement. Sometimes it actually does feel good. Like a chest press hoist is okay. But the one thing I noticed about all their machines, and even like the Strive one, the grip is like so damn thick. Like it's almost the thickness of this bottle.
Oh, true.
And so it's like, I mean, I can still engage it, but I like the hammer strength grip is like a normal barbell kind of diameter almost, to where you get a good grip around it. You can actually squeeze and manipulate, I guess, your angles a little bit better versus trying to, grip something that girthy,
Yeah,
But
I'm used to that.
Yeah, but then like you said, the cushion, like on a leg press, to your point, I don't mind it. But then I have used like Techno Gym, or no, it's called Pure Strength. It's some off-brand shit that they have like AmFam VCC. It's so overly cushioned that it's like you're, like you said, like laying in like a mattress, and it's like I don't need all that,
Do you guys ever see those infographics, maybe on your Explore page or something, where the person is like making chocolate chip cookie variations, and it's like used like more butter for this one, use more flour for this one. I almost want to do that and
machine?
like build a machine of like, okay, if we have the handle slightly downward, like does a random controlled trial, like do they favor this? Or
we
like,
have two really good machine ideas. One I know we can absolutely do, the one for the Jefferson.
Oh,
we want to make like a cable Jefferson squat.
And then I had an idea.
And then he has one. I don't know how it's gonna work though.
A almost like you can curl it and then you can turn.
It's a
and push
constant
it down.
concentric. There's
So
no
you'll
eccentric.
always have tension on it.
I told him.
We're going
I
on
told
Shark
him.
Tank.
We're going to the moon.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
Mark
gonna be
Cuban.
the best machine.
What the hell? Yeah, I
I
can't
told,
imagine that.
I told him that they already have ones that you can flip from like a leg extension to a leg curl, the verse, but
But you wouldn't be able to do it easily, though. Like, it would take you to
It would
reset
be like a
and,
shackle
Well, you'd have to-
around your joint.
when
and
I
you
told
could
him-
just
the problem is you need eccentric to actually get some muscle growth too. So I told him like you could have it where you do your extensions,
Overrated.
flip a switch, and then do the curls, or example. But like to have it constant, like
So
concentric.
you're doing
that'd probably feel
tricep
weird as
extension with curl.
shit. Yeah.
yes, but turn your hand. I feel like there could be benefit
I don't-
to that.
I don't.
I feel
I don't
like
know how that would feel.
I don't-
That'd
I-
feel weird as
like,
shit.
I think it would
Like
be.
a superset in itself.
I,
I feel so
I see what
strange.
you're saying, but physics, I don't think would allow it.
I don't think it would allow
What
it.
is
Yeah.
that concept? Reciprocal inhibition, as one muscle contracts, the
Relaxes.
antagonist relaxes, and I feel like there could be some benefit to that.
We're wasting time right there, brother. We need to be hitting it at the same
Yeah,
time.
I know. Imagine that. The pump.
I
would
just
be
feel like
coming
to,
in the
to
gym.
create this machine, it would be so expensive because of the like design you'd have to have for it.
You know who we
It
need?
would be like an hourglass of sandbags. It would just
Would-
like fill it.
that's literally how it'd have to be, because like the weight, if you had weight on both sides, it would just stay neutral. Like you wouldn't be able to move it either way.
Yeah.
Or if
I
you
see
did,
somebody make this.
But the Jefferson squat cable, we could basically just have two handles. It could even have like spots on the ground where you're supposed to put your feet.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a little tricky. And then it's just like they already have cables where you grab and you do like step up. So it's basically the same concept, just with a different kind of platform layout.
Yeah.
But that would be nice, a Jefferson squat machine, because people never do Jefferson squats. That's like my new like secret hidden weapon.
well, it's all things are possible.
Yeah. Our future business endeavors.
I know. Just wait. We'll
Oh.
crowdfund it.
I had another question.
Jump into the GoFundMe.
Unless we wanted to
Okay,
get there.
go ahead.
It's kind of a lame question, though.
No,
I feel
bring it.
like. It's what are like major gym pet peeves,
Oh, I can do as a member
So-
or as an employee.
Let's not do the obvious ones though that are like,
I guess as a
re-racking
member.
weights and stuff. One that always pisses me off, it's so simple, I feel like, is when I'm picking up heavy dumbbells. In my opinion, like anything like 70 plus. Like if I'm unracking them and let's say I grab them, I'm turning to my left and there's somebody with 30-pound dumbbells walking in my same direction.
You get the right of way.
I get the right of way because I have the heavier weight. They need to get the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
And inverse, if I'm grabbing 20s and someone's coming at me with even like 25s or 40s, like it's my job to get out the way because they have the heavier weight.
I typically do.
That's how it should be. But sometimes you get people that you're holding like 80s and you're like trying to walk over, and there's someone with 10s and you're like, get the fuck out, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy to walk with those sometimes.
And I definitely think there's a culture that could be built to like have to like check people, or like call them out a little bit, and then they hopefully learn and don't redo that. But there are going to be just idiots.
It's always people
regardless.
though that aren't like consistent gym goers.
Exactly.
Like when I first started, I definitely did some things that I probably didn't know what the hell I was doing. But it's like as you start to adopt more gym culture, you see more things go on, you go more consistently. I feel like this gym etiquette
nose.
is so natural and to occur, and you just kind of like embody it, and no one has to like say it out loud basically. But I feel like for the people that just come and go or the weekend warriors, it's like
Yeah.
they just ignore those simple etiquette things.
Yeah. The dude that does like the curls and lateral raises in front of the rack and doesn't move like the whole 4 sets, whatever. I know what you're talking about. But as Griffin asked, whether you're an employee or a member, I'm thinking member at least for and my pet peeve is not having, I guess it would be this, but typically I fix it by bringing my own, but not having good music playing. Or if it's not at least good music, at least it being loud. If I walk into a gym, even when I walk in through the door and I don't even have my headphones in yet, and I'm like checking in, and it's just like, hey, how you doing? And Griffin's done the noise before. The treadmills are going. You hear like a weight getting dropped like all the way on the other side of the gym. You shouldn't be hearing that. You should hear like, hey, how you doing? Like, and it's like a club, or at least like a rager, just bumping music.
True.
Because like that's what brings the environment and like the vibe. You're like, oh hell yeah, I'm ready to throw down. You walk in, it's like, hey, how you doing? Let's whisper.
I know.
And it's like, well, how am I going to kill it in this?
Yeah. And like when you walk in and the front desk workers are just on their phone, hey, and stuff like that. It's, I don't know.
I think that kills, at least for me,
kind of
kills my vibe. And I truly think if a gym could really crush that, like right out the get-go, as soon as you walk in the door, you're feeling the vibe. I think like you're doing, that's a good start for sure.
Yeah. I would say 2 things, one more major than the other. One would be, as I'm doing something and somebody comes, let's say I'm squatting in a rack and somebody comes and takes a plate off the rack while I'm mid-set, if that makes sense. That always frustrates me a little bit because it's like, okay, well.
So fuck with your mindset. Yeah. Like when especially on a heavy set.
Like, okay, I'm going to hit you or something like that.
Well, I'm not even worried about like me hurting them. That's on them. But like when I'm squatting and people are walking around in my peripheral vision, or like they're squeezing behind me in like a rack, or especially like VCU, it's a little close quarters, or like you said, they're grabbing weight.
I've got 135 on my back. Thank you very much.
Back off, man. Yeah, but it's like they're in my field of vision, and especially with like I've learned to, and I think it's the best way to squat is without a mirror, and you just find a point on the ground and focus on it. When you got all these outside things going on, it's so distracting.
Oh, true.
And that's the same problem I have with
horse blinders.
Yeah, that's a problem I have with people with a crowded gym in general. I don't hate a crowded gym because of people going or like people on a machine I want. That's not my problem. It's I know I get very distracted people watching, and I'm just not as focused and locked in when I got, Wingnut over here doing swinging lateral raises, and, I got Susie over here doing quarter squats. It's kind of like distracting. Like, it's not my job to focus on them, so it's not necessarily their fault. But that's just why I prefer like a less crowded gym, is because I get distracted. So like, when I'm benching, squatting, doing something difficult, I don't need all that in my field of vision.
You're right.
The other thing I would say that I've noticed, especially in the last few months of going to the gym, if your clips don't go in the bar, you need to throw them away. As a gym manager, I feel like.
Remember when we were
it
overhead
pisses
pressing
me off to no extent to be like, that clip doesn't work, that one doesn't work either, and
or
you
they're
find like
super
the magic
duper loose and bent up. Like,
dude,
you gotta
I
put
was
it on, it
surprised.
slides right off.
Gold's like, we were at Laburnum. I remember this was like months ago, and we were trying to do overhead press, and I'm like, oh, I got these clips, and we're like, oh, they don't fit. Oh, here's some other ones. Oh, damn it, they don't fit either. It's like, come on now. And what blew my mind is like this Laburnum, like they dropped a ton of money on new plates or new racks and all this, but you're telling me like some cheapo clips?
They went with like the 25-cent clips.
Like,
it's like
come
y'all got
on.
the cheapest thing possible.
Yeah, it's like,
this is like the foundation of what everything is built on.
Yeah, you like skip over the little things,
Yeah, no, those are a huge thing, and nobody respects anything there. So like the last time they did have some decent clips there, they either went missing.
Steal them, yeah.
They went missing immediately, or they got bent and broken from people just dropping weights on top of them and just flinging them around. Which it is what it is, but you won't be able to stop everybody. But it's like, come on, bro. Yeah, but anyways, was that all you had for?
That's all I got.
Okay, what you got, Griff?
Okay,
guys,
I
a
wrote
paragraph
it down.
over here.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to have
thoughts.
a preface. Yes,
His thoughts?
407 years ago.
Yeah.
I just figured I would kind of lead into it and then have just a
Set the
closing
tone.
question. So mentality, I find, is a funny thing. Things that would keep you up at night or stress you out all day can be things that you laugh at or look back on in a positive way 6 months down the road. if it's your birthday, even if it's just a typical day, your day is that much better because you know it's your birthday. Similarly, there are days where traffic is too slow, something pops up that just kind of puts you in an off mood, or you drop something by accident, or somebody says something and you take it the wrong way, and a fraction of a second can mess up your entire day. So what are some things that you guys do to start or end the day well? And what are some things that you maybe do to catch yourself if you slip into a negative mindset?
Would you like to start first? I got some things on my head that I literally thought on the ride here, and it was right after I have to show you the picture once we're done. It's funny as shit. It's Jocko's Mulk, his protein powder. I went to look to see how much it was. I was like, how much is he probably pricing it? It's expensive as shit.
Is there anything special in it?
Oh, no, it's a blend, so it's like concentrate and isolate together. Maybe his flavors might be knockout. I don't know, but it's like $45 for 2 pounds, and typically it's pretty high, like really high. Like Body Fortress or Body Tech that they sell, their Vitamin Shop brand's like $24 for 2 pounds.
Dang.
You know, so it's like double the price. Well, anyways, just about like his discipline, and not only his, but like other people's in general. It's like, man, not that I envy or like I'm like, man, I wish I was them, but like I was like, man, I wish I did have some of that discipline, or as much discipline as he does, to like not negotiate things throughout the day when shit hits the fan or things start to like blow up in your face. It's like, oh, well, I'm still focusing on me and pushing one more step further than yesterday, or just finishing out strong, winning as much as I can. No negotiating anything or hiccups that come up. It's like, oh, I just won't do it today because this happened, or I'm just not in the mood, or whatever. I don't know. I think people like that I do really look up to, and I'm like, man, I need to focus on things that just I can control. And I think that's deep down one thing I want to start doing, and have started implementing my day, is just making sure I'm covering everything that at least I can control. So at the end of the day, I've made sure at least if something's not getting better, I'm getting better. So by tracking my food, I've religiously been doing that for months now, and trying to just make sure I'm not skipping any of the little things, like continuing to package orders the same way, not being in a rush when I get over here right before the post closes, making sure the things are going out the way that I would expect them to, things that, like, because I can control that, instead of just rushing through shit, slapping it together and say, fuck it, they'll reorder, they've already got their money type deal. So I want to treat things like the way I'd want them done, and, focus on what I can control. So that's one thing, just, I think answering that from me is just focusing on me as much as I can, making sure even if shit is falling down around me, I'm thinking about, all right, well, how can I finish off the day strong for me, whether it's reading a book, eating my macros or calories for the day, drinking that water, getting that workout in late at fucking night. Like tonight I'm going to go work out. I'm not a badass or something like that. It's just the way my day's planned, but it's like I'm probably going to go work out at like 7:30, 8 p.m. tonight, and that's not favorable for me because I won't get home till 10:30 and then go to bed around midnight and be up at 6 to train tomorrow. It's like, well, shit, it is what it is, but if I skipped it, I would just be negotiating like a deal, like, oh, I don't need it, I just won't do it today, fuck it. It's like, fuck that, dude. Just, I don't know, something you can control, just do it.
Yeah, I kind of like how you said negotiate, because like you kind of just got to have the idea or the mindset to like not give yourself the option. It's kind of like with my cardio that I rarely do, but the one bit of cardio I guarantee myself is I run once a week, my off day, and I try to do 2 or 3 miles, and I don't even allow myself to skip it, or to have some excuse to blah blah blah. And even if I have to miss it, like this Friday, we're gonna have to move things around basically. But what I'm gonna probably do is run on my arm day. Like I just don't allow myself to skip that thing. So you have to set those parameters for yourself that like this can't be missed. You got to treat it like paying your bills or whatever, where you can't give yourself the option. You give yourself the option, then it is an option. You have to treat it like it's mandatory. Mm-hmm. And then how I kind of set myself up is like, I'm so much a morning person, so I already feel good in the morning, and I'm kind of excited to, start the day. And I think the biggest thing I've done is kind of have that thing to look forward to. And usually, it's like a good breakfast, like always, whatever it is. I don't like do something extravagant, but I really do enjoy like my oatmeal and eggs. And, now the new thing I've done, I guess, the past year is like I typically have coffee every morning. And coffee is like a little side hobby for me, so I'm excited to make it every morning. It's like sometimes in the middle of the day, I'm like, I want to brew some coffee, but I'm like, I don't really need it this late. It's going to, be a waste, or it's going to over-caffeinate myself. But I'm like, man, I can't wait for the morning, though. when I can brew some more. So it kind of excites me to start my day. It gives me like a reason or purpose to be happy and to be excited. So maybe if you're not a big morning person though, you can kind of incentivize your morning and say, well, at least I get to have this. You buy a waffle maker maybe, and you're like, oh, now I can do waffles in the morning. Something to excite you, whether it is food related or not. Maybe something you can do in the morning to kind of kickstart your day and start you off with a positive vibe. I think is you got to set the tone like anything, like in a workout, right? It's like, you set the tone with like a good bench press day. Let's say, but I know like for me, if I have a leg day and I do like a shit job on squats, it kind of ruins my whole workout. And so I kind of think about it the same way. Like you got to set the tone early, because if you don't, then it kind of just throws off everything else.
For sure.
And then when it comes to like, when something comes up, things start to compound that are negative. I think, the two things I try to do is just think about how like lucky or in a good situation I am, because there are a lot of people that either, don't have, the things that I do. And it sounds super corny, but it's like trying to put in perspective, I guess. It's not like I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, I'm thankful for my family and like, my food or my dog. But I kind of sit there and try to put things into perspective. And like you said, you think about it and you're like, this is like 10 seconds of my day. Am I really going to allow myself to be pissed off for the next 2 hours for this? It's stupid. So and even when I have like little fights with Maddie or something, sometimes you need to sit back and think, I shouldn't have said that, or this is so silly and stupid. Like it's not worth to ignore each other for the next 2 hours or something. Like I'm just gonna and she does the same. Like just be the bigger person, apologize, be like, this is kind of stupid, and we're good to go. You don't allow like those negative situations to rule an hour of your life or whatever. It's such a wasteful way of thinking.
Don't assume either that either of three of us probably have the perfect days. I still, even though
like Griffin does.
Oh, I don't know. I think he definitely keeps it in perspective, and like you have gratitude and you're grateful for most things. But
there are many nights that I lie awake and I'm like, man, that thing that happened 10 years ago in conversation, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh,
like,
I don't think that. I do not think that deep. But what I'm saying is like, even though I mentioned, focusing on you, even if you focus on you, could still end up having just like, it just doesn't click, But trying to focus on things like that and being grateful, gratitude, and how good you may have it, compared to others is a huge thing. I think of it all the time with Gymflo. I'm like, man, we're not doing, as much as I'd like to be doing, or, oh man, we're not as, farther off than I thought. But it's like, man, most people would kill to be in a position to have their own business and like this far off that we are. The amount of time we put in, it's like, I don't know. So I do deep down. I don't mention it often, but like I put things in perspective. I'm like, dude, we're doing all right. We're paying our bills. We're not like in some crazy debt. We don't owe, like, it's like nobody's chasing after us. We're able to make products. We're able to do what we want, kind of, to a certain extent, but it's like, why even stress it? Like, we're doing good. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to relate.
I just try to, like, you just got to take control of, or you got to look at what you can control. And, like, your attitude is 150% something you are in control of. And so, like, even if something, bad or good happens, it's like, you're in the position to decide how that affects you, So it might be more difficult with something negative to kind of flip that switch, but I think with practice and with more situations and whatever it is that kind of flips your mindset or perspective, at least, that's something you're in control of. You're not in control of, this bill that came up or this car problem that, showed up. You can't control that. What you can control is how you handle that and how you approach people and from that situation. So that's all I'd say.
True.
What do you have to add?
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of turn into like a huge baby in the evenings, like when I get home, and I pretty much just like don't want to move, don't really even like have the energy sometimes to like eat dinner. I don't know what it is, but I'm definitely a lot more of like need to be cozy in the evening, and like I'll wake up naturally early in the morning but be like gung-ho and ready to go. Yeah. So for me, especially like in the evenings, I like to, take a shower. I usually always have my bed made, so like I like to get under some nice like crisp sheets, put my earplugs in, and just be like, I'm gonna sleep great, and then tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and be like ready to roll. So
there's something about like having some wind down time too, because like I think I've talked about this before, maybe either on or off the podcast, but like I definitely have parameter sets where I know in the morning, like I'm like, get up, go, let's get shit done, and that's usually why I like working out early. But definitely once it comes to like, I kind of have the parameter set that after 7 p.m., that's like my work should be done.
Yeah,
like I should
go
be
to
done
bed at like 8:30 p.m.
Yeah,
usually.
and that I feel bad because I used to be the 5 to 9, like wake up at 5, go to bed at 9. Now I flipped him on it, and I've been like an hour or so delayed. But
I
anyway.
wake up at like 4:55.
But point is, like knowing when
pretty
to flip off that switch and have some like wind down time is good. And it also almost forces you. I know we talked about. I forgot what the law is. I don't know if it's like a Murphy's law or something. But basically, if you set your, if you only give yourself so much time to get something done, you'll get it done within that time period. But if you,
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, for example, you give yourself a day to complete a task, you'll probably get it done that day because you have to. But if you give yourself a week, you'll probably wait till near the end of the week before actually finishing it. So that's something I've tried to apply with all the stuff I do. Usually when I'm doing like freelance clients, I'll tell them, okay, I'll have it done within 48 hours. And I try to get it done either that day or the next day. I don't like try to wait till the whole 48-hour period goes up. And that keeps me ahead of the curve, keeps me ahead of the game, but also kind of, just keeps me on track with everything I'm doing. So
Yeah, and so that's what I would say too. It's like usually if something is stressing me out, I'm like, okay, well, I'll be better prepared to deal with this in the morning. Maybe that's not the right mentality, but like usually when let's say for example something is like just nagging in my mind, I feel like usually the next morning I wake up, I'm like, oh, like that's not even that big of a deal.
And sometimes you don't have to be attack about every single thing. Sometimes you need to sleep on it. Sometimes you might not have the right train of thought late in the day, Yeah,
or at least in the morning, I feel like I'm like, oh, well, this thing that I thought was going to be like end all be all, I'm like, oh, well, I feel much more capable of like actually approaching this in the morning, if that makes sense.
It's good and normal for most, though. Good, in my eyes at least, to have like everything is urgent. It should be accomplished as soon as possible. But sometimes things need to be as long as it takes. Maybe they don't need. Maybe it's something that is a little bit more out of hand or needs more time. But I myself, I get anxiety sometimes. Jake is kind of the opposite. I'm like, man, we need to be doing this like today or yesterday. It's like urgent. He's like, oh, I can wait. I can wait. And blah blah. blah.
I think most things are better off on a sense of urgency and worst scenario. If it does take longer than you expect, then you're in a good situation. But I think it's like the law that I can't name that I said. It's like you give yourself so many times and you're relaxed with it. I think sometimes it ends up just catching up with you, and it just takes longer to get things done. So I think,
and that's the other thing too. I would say, if it's things that are kind of in your control, sometimes I find that like the biggest setback is just you being nervous to actually start doing it. And so a lot of times I find that if I can in the morning, like I'll set a timer for an hour or something like that and just say like, okay, well, I'll at least work for an hour. I find that I'm pretty much done by the end of the hour. So whereas like the day before I might have been like, oh, this is going to take me forever, yada, yada, yada. I'll just like look at it another day. But I find that if I can actually sit down and be like, okay, well, timer set, like I know at least, it's going to be a hard start and stop for this, and whatever I get done, I'll get done, and like I'll look back at it after I finish this hour, if that makes sense. And then I would say too, for approach for things that kind of pile up negatively, I always like to, I don't know, like a night camping, I find that just kind of sets your mind right again. It makes you just appreciate like hot meal, comfortable bed, like lighting, plumbing, other things like that. So I just find sometimes having a ritual every month, every 2 months, like just having a night where you're kind of re-exposed to things like that.
Off to the woods, Maddie. Spending the night there. I'll be back tomorrow morning,
man. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Not because I don't really like to think about things in perspective of like, oh, well, somebody across the world has it worse than me. But I like to just kind of be in those scenarios sometimes where I'm like, man, that's something I don't think about.
Like you're saying, it takes away all the softness. That
You're set with. It kind of reminds you what's real.
It's like, man, I got it pretty good. Perspective, I guess.
True.
Well, I had a few. Well, I guess two things on my mind. First thing off the top of my head is, I would like, maybe not on today, but definitely talk a little bit, because didn't y'all just sort of merge a little bit, or starting to merge a little bit together and starting a little company, right?
Yeah.
Business? We don't have to get on that today, but...
We can kind of briefly talk about it.
Yeah, we don't really OnlyFans.com/Brock and
talked.
It's just pictures of us in briefs. Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess we could hit on a little bit, like, have we ever dug... I guess a few, like one of my first shows with you and Maddie, we talked a little bit about your videography and stuff like that. But I guess hit on like how you started real briefly and like how it's led up to today. And
so really, I started around like when I was 13. So this is like 2013. I'd done a lot of video editing since I was like 7, just in like Final Cut Pro, just doing stupid stuff, like just funny effects, cloning myself, Harry Potter effects, like just lightsabers, just fun stuff. And I, that helped me develop these like basic editing skills to the point where, okay, I could do some stuff and make some money. So there's a site that, just for freelance workers called Fiverr. There's other ones like it called like Upwork and different things like that. And basically on this website, you set your gig, which is, whatever service you're doing. Some people do testimonials. I'll review your essay. I'll make you a website. I'll, make you a thank you card. Just voiceover, all these little things that you can do that people pay for, businesses will pay for. And so I put up a little gig on there, and for a lot of the stuff it was $5. Sometimes that are bigger orders, you can charge 40, or you kind of negotiate it with them. And Fiverr, of course, takes like I guess it's a 20% cut. It's $1 for every 5. And anyway, so I started there in like 2013, doing some orders here or there. And so probably over, like 5 years, I was just doing, some money up and here or there, but never anything that you would even consider a legit paycheck. It was $20 here, 80 there, every other month. It was just small, like petty change for the most part. And but I guess like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, I had started to have some like realtors come on there, and they were asking me like to do very similar videos as like each other. And I was like, this is kind of strange. And they'd be like, hey, I'm from so and so, and oh, so and so like referred me. And so I started doing like these simple edits for I say simple, it's it's still green screen music, backgrounds, images, text, all these different things that it's nothing too extravagant or crazy professional, but it's legit work as well that they can't handle themselves.
It's honest work.
It's honest work. It ain't much, but it's honest work. And but point is, I got associated with some people that were more consistent work, and they needed a lot more videos. And so I started working with them outside of the service. Next thing I know, a year and a half later, I've worked with over like 150 different real estate agents doing. Some of them I've worked with and done like 40 videos for. Some of them just like they're 5 and out. And so it's interesting though. So that's kind of how I got started with majority of the video work I do. But I have worked with a lot of different companies. I've worked with a massage therapist in LA. I've done videos for different gyms, testimonial videos. I've done work for a skydiving company in like Hawaii, and like a lot of different random stuff that I've gotten from Fiverr. I did one for some app that was a startup on Kickstarter, and I believe got funded and everything. It was like a ticket service in Canada for hockey games and stuff. Just like a bunch of weird stuff, and that's kind of how I got started with a lot of the work I did. And I'll let you talk about it, and then we can kind of both talk about what we're kind of doing emerging.
Obviously, Griffin, you've been doing video for a while too. Maybe not so much for business, quote unquote, ads and stuff, but you've just been doing overall video work as well. And I mean, obviously helping Gymflo out a lot with business wise, but it's like, I think you transitioning into, I guess, a little bit more of this work is helping you broaden, maybe a little bit of what you maybe weren't used to doing, with
not to speak for him, but I feel like the difference is like Griffin's done a shit ton of more work for local stuff and a lot more in-person videos and definitely more photography. I don't really do any photography. And my work is primarily all like online editing. Like they're sending me the files. Of course, I'm finding like, images and backgrounds and all that stuff. But as far as like the, recording it, they're basically sending me the clip. So it's more video editing on my end, although I do know how to do some, videography work and production. But he's way more experienced with that kind
Griffin's
of work.
the big show.
Griffin's the full package.
The full package. He's a full package
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, actually, you got me into doing video stuff because I had originally bought my camera because when I first made my fitness transformation, I wanted to get a photo shoot because, I was always like super skinny and like I wanted to have at least some sort of progress thing that wasn't like, at the time I just had a little like bathroom medicine cabinet mirror, and I wanted something that wasn't just
big
like
reveal.
At least something that looked nice because I had put in a lot of work, and at the time too I was like working at Hollister, so they had told me I was too big to like do the marketing pictures or send anything in, which by the way I was like 170, so like they just want some like twink with abs. So I hit up a few photographers, and most didn't get back to me that were in the area, and then a couple were like either said no, or they said, oh well, it's gonna be like 500, and gosh, you guys gotta get your prostate checked.
I'm gonna be next, by the way.
or they wanted like 500 for like 5 or 6 photos. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna spend money, like, let me just go ahead and at least if I get a camera, I can just take as many pictures as I feel
Personal,
like.
yeah.
And so I used to just, like post stuff on Instagram and would just film little things of like me and my friends working out, and just make edits for fun. And it was a little bit hard at that time because the camera that I had for filming, like I had to set it up on the tripod, like focus on my hand, and then try to like step into the frame and do what I wanted to do. So
The
it was a
same
little
one right
bit,
there.
yeah, it was a little bit of an interesting time. But I had tried from No Limits a sample of the pre-workout, and we just made a little video of us doing it and like having an epic like shoulder day or something like that. And you messaged me and you were like, hey, would you be interested in doing a few more videos for us? Like, I'll hook you up with some products, and then just make some stuff for our page. And then that kind of turned into a relationship. And then one by one, like either through Instagram or just kind of word of mouth, different trainers or like the OCB organization or different, companies would just hit me up, and it started to kind of snowball into something that turned from just a little fun thing to actually something that started to pay a good amount, at least to be able to cover equipment costs while I was in college, of paying for lenses or cameras or other things like that. And that slowly turned into weddings and a little bit more of like an actual business began to take shape. So it is cool, I feel like, and it's still fun for me to kind of see, like it's kind of cool, even though I don't actually get paid from the business itself. Like, it's cool to take somebody's picture wearing like Lululemon and see Lululemon posted on their Instagram page or other things
they
like
thought
that.
it was
to kinda
quality
just
enough
feel
to,
like,
to match their standard.
So that kind of stuff is pretty cool. And for me, I like to, I don't really consider it as much of like, I don't know, I haven't really been thinking of it probably as a business like I should, because I always just kind of like, like I'm very self-critical in a lot of ways, whether it be with bodybuilding or, with my own personal habits. So a lot of times too, like when I go to look at video or like photos or other things like that, I'm like, no, I don't like that, or like I need to be better at editing this, or like this isn't something I'd put in my portfolio. So I've never really thought about it much in terms of a business. I usually just say yes when people ask me to do stuff, and then give them a price that I feel like, I probably should do more, but like it is what it is.
He's doing
so.
He's like
I'm
Chinese
learning
labor.
a little bit more. Yeah, I'm learning a little bit more about the business aspect. But while we've been in this lockdown,
I think that's a good sign, though. I don't mean to break you up, but like, you're willing to do it for damn near free or cheap just because you truly love it. You're
for the
passionate.
right reasons.
Yeah, you're doing it for the right reasons, and like that goes to show that like you're doing something in the right direction for you. Because you're passionate about it. You do critique yourself. You enjoy doing it though, and you do it for free for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't mean to, but I
no.
think that's a good thing. I don't want you to think or anybody to think that's negative.
And that's a fun thing too, is like, even I would say some of the things that I've done the most work for, I have not gotten paid, but those have been the most rewarding for me, because at that point in time for those particular jobs, it's been fun to kind of be given the full like free reign of, okay, you do whatever you want to do, sort of thing. And it's always fun, I feel like, for me, or at least very rewarding, not like a pat yourself on the back, but there's a really good feeling about feeling like, oh, well, I kind of just did this the way that I liked the way that it looked, or like that I felt was right. And the person that sees it is like, wow, this is like exactly what I wanted, or something like that. There's something that I just find is, I don't know, it's like, it's very soul comforting or something like that. So
Yeah, it's rewarding when people compliment your work.
So yeah, well, we were kind of just, I forget how we got on the subject, but we just decided, since we've been in this quarantine, like, let's see if we can kind of just start working on something that we can do together, because like, I feel like, especially if we both channel our efforts towards this kind of stuff, we both have good attitudes around it. And for example, too, like, I know that Brock is a little bit more, I would say, like, intentional with, like how you want the site to look, or how you kind of want to represent yourself as like a business entity. And for me too, like, I'm pretty easygoing in that regard. And I feel like, like we both have our own like vision, I guess, of how we want things to be or what we want things to be like. But we're both like, I'm receptive to what he has to say. He's receptive to what I have
It's
to
not
say.
Yeah, we're
two
both pretty
one-way
open.
streets.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like I'm fine taking a little bit of a back burner if like you have a little bit more of what you want your vision to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like setting up the site or other things like that, like, yeah, you want it this way, good to go, sort of thing.
I think
So.
y'all pairing and partnering together with some work like this is only going to allow y'all to grow even more, because you'll bring, attributes or experience that he maybe doesn't have, and same vice versa over from the ads to, just leisure video and picture and whatnot. Like you'll be able to, I think eventually, like you said, you haven't been taking it as serious as a business as you would have liked to. I think his business side of it, since he's been doing it for a while, will sort of parlay over into.
I think we complement each other really well, and like there's a lot of ways
that's what I'm trying to break down.
We can improve upon each other, and I think it's a good fit. And I was telling him basically, like I said, like I do primarily like online remote work, and then he does primarily local work. So it's like if we can kind of just merge, and like you said, like you've been talking about, basically kind of add a little bit more professionalism or like a brand to like what he's offering.
Yeah.
We can reach a lot more people locally, and honestly, help these businesses that don't really even realize they need video, showing them the value that we can like provide for them. And like you said, just kind of easygoing people that are just genuine and enjoy doing this stuff. And we're not some overly professional like company that's going to charge you a fortune, but we're still going to put in like really quality work, so you get pretty good bang for your buck. And so yeah, we're doing kind of like a little merger, and a lot of the stuff we'll still mostly do separate, and we're going to be offering basically like real estate, video production, and video editing. But a lot of the stuff we can hopefully do, together too. Like if we're doing like a certain small business or something, we'd love to shoot it together. And like, I don't know, I feel like I was saying, we're basically kind of doing the same stuff we've been doing,
yes,
but kind of putting it under a name, I feel like gives us a higher ceiling and like a place for people to go and find us.
And sometimes too, I feel like, when you have somebody else that, I'm sure you probably felt this way with Jake. When like when it's yourself maybe starting a business, it's a little bit daunting or something like that, to where it almost cements the concept a little bit more when you have somebody else that's willing to kind of take that step with you.
Yeah.
So funny little like side note is my friend and his wife, he's in dental school up in Boston, but they just decided, because he's pretty smart, so like he doesn't have to study as much as I feel like he should, but they decided to just start shooting wedding photos and stuff, because he had bought some nice cameras, some A7 IIIs or R3s with his student loan money. And they decided to just start shooting weddings as like a side business. And it was just so funny to me, like, because we would have a weekly FaceTime where I would teach him how to edit and like how to color grade and other things like that. But he'd be like, yeah, we just got like 2,800 from this wedding or this and that. And it was funny to me to just be like, oh, like you guys went to an accountant to like set this business up. Like you wrote out like contracts and legalese and all this other stuff. But like I'm teaching you how to do like the back burner stuff that you don't even like know how to do necessarily. But like you're able to get clients just and customers and like set your price. So that was just kind of funny to me to be like, like, I feel like if I actually like put the work in, I probably could, like, set a good precedent or something like that for myself in terms of business. But I am always scared to like take that next step. So that's what I feel like. Brock is a very like eager and like he attacks a lot of things that he goes for, to where I'm a little bit more spacey, up in the air, like it's all about the vision kind of thing. To
I
where
feel like both of y'all are very easygoing, which is good, and I feel like I'm pretty easygoing too for the most part. But I don't know, I feel like it kind of goes back to the mindset we talk about. I feel like sometimes I have a little bit more urgency or demand, with like I guess projects I like attack, and I think I don't know. I feel like sometimes I guess I just put more structure, I guess, to I'd like to say to both of y'all.
It is funny because he'll like scold me of like, because I was telling him about one job that I did, and like I had to drive up to DC, take a train, like walk 2 or 3 miles to the venue. I was there 12 hours, went back, and then edited for like 40 hours. And so it wound up being like the equivalent of like $7.10 an hour essentially for the time that I put in, and I still felt like I like really had to negotiate to get the price that I was paid. And so it's
Did you
I was
negotiate, or
telling
did
him.
you say, "How's it 200 sound"?
Yeah, that's
well,
right.
they were like,
did.
well, we weren't thinking we would have to pay you. Like, we just thought that you would use this to get exposure and get good connections. And so I
Do you
was
have
like,
a million,
It's just them trying to, like,
2.2
blow
million
you.
followers or something, or what?
well, they do not use me anymore. We didn't
Yeah.
have a falling out, but
Which is crazy
They-
because he's so cheap and he does amazing work.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see people or companies like just abuse people like that. That they're not paying them good money. Like I was telling him, like he could have easily been making minimum 30 an hour, or oftentimes up to like 80 an hour
Yeah.
for this type of work. I mean, that's why I say like
Especially for travel.
That's why I say like the work that I do isn't like the most extravagant or professional editing you've ever seen. Like I didn't go to school for this stuff, but the work I do is oftentimes just as good or better than these people that are getting paid $200 an hour to do really basic video work. Or like we saw who's like not naming names, and I don't even know the name, who does like the OCB stuff now or does these other stuff, and they do very cheesy work, super basic, and they're getting paid. Or there's so many people that I feel like are photographers that do like the most basic like photos, basic color grading. It's super generic, and it's like people are paying them 100, 200, 500 bucks for these packages that it's like you're overpaying for basic, but then someone that comes along and gets abused for $7 an hour when they do amazing work, and it's just I don't know, it's frustrating. So I don't know. Hopefully we can again make more connections, meet more small businesses, especially out of this COVID stuff. Hopefully be offering fair rates and helping them kind of get up, get more in the digital world and digital space to connect with more buyers and potential customers and stuff. But anyway, that's kind of
No, that's good. I
Yeah.
want, like, hopefully anybody that is watching this maybe knows somebody or has a family business or something, or something.
let us
knows,
know soon.
Yeah, that's serious.
Soon to be a website, Interstellar Media.
But obviously they can reach out via social media, Instagram, Facebook, to both of y'all to be like, hey, what could y'all do to help them type deal. Don't be scared to reach out and ask for sure. But yeah, I think that would be huge, or it is huge that y'all are partnering up and teaming up, because both worlds colliding together I think would be great. And, hopefully more local work would happen, especially if a potential workplace were to pop up here soon, hopefully. So we'll call it just that, a workplace.
potential new podcast studio.
Yeah, the whole Alpha Land.
Alpha Land,
Yeah.
Richmond Land.
But but I think that's really cool for real, and I think we should dive deeper a little bit, maybe in another, when we have a fresh slot, talk about what y'all are looking for, what y'all going to bring, packages, and what y'all are standing for. with this.
We bring solid packages,
Worldwide.
full package. Yeah,
Full
You
package.
can really depend.
Always handle with care.
yeah.
We deliver to the back door. If you need it. One thing that I wanted to hit on is I don't know. I think it would be cool to spice it up. Maybe not every week. Maybe once a month or every other week, or every other week. So twice a month. We bring on somebody either locally or somebody like that. How I was doing to begin with, and talk about what they're up to and stuff like that. I'd love to get back to that. Since we have a fourth mic, all right, I'm gonna buy another one like that. That one's the best one out of them all.
I was gonna say
We
that's
can
kind of
be
why I
like
wanted it.
the American Idol
I was,
judges. I'll be Simon and try to get you to crack.
That one's the cheapest one out
Dude,
of them
I
all,
was
too.
gonna tell you that I don't think they would be good podcast mics. I think they're just like wireless, like stereo mics. Maybe they'd still work, but I bet you could find some good podcast mics on like Facebook Marketplace for a cheap price.
Yeah.
Or maybe like if you can get like a bundle for like, I mean these are all right, but I don't know if I don't know what like decent mics cost. I feel like they're overpriced, but I mean I feel like you could get somewhat decent for like $60-$70 per mic. Or I don't
If
know
we
the deal.
found stands for these, this one is so cheap compared. So these were about $60 a piece. This $18.
Yeah.
And it sounds. If you listen on, if you're watching the
Sounds
show,
more clear.
you're gonna say his sounds better than this one, and way better than that one. They're both the
Yeah.
same, but that one for some reason just
Well, and
sounds
at
like.
least you have these clamps too. Like if you did get a new
Yeah.
mic, you could just slide that sucker in there, and it'd
could,
probably be
for
good
real,
to
for
go.
real. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it. But anyways,
Maybe when we get a potential space.
yeah, I think I definitely want to, like, once we do that, I definitely want to upgrade, like, really level this up since we're being a lot. It shows that we're being more consistent.
Give
I was
ourselves a
worried.
Jamie.
When we'll
Yeah,
have
yeah, dead serious.
when we'll have a designated space, I feel
It'll
like
feel more
too.
legit.
Yeah, we can get like the background looking good,
Yeah, maybe
maybe
I
some
could-
nice lights,
yeah,
some
put a
soft
banner up.
lights. Yeah, so
But,
it'll be nice to actually pimp it
We need
out.
that poster in the back.
Yeah, most definitely.
We were talking about at his. I was at his
Waist down.
apartment, and we were like, we get that picture and then a picture of me flexing, and just put it on the mirror or
And the
on the
Conquer
wall
picture.
in front of his couch. So when he brings girl over, and they're just sitting in, she's like, who are they? And my best friends.
Yeah. So let's set the mood.
He got fourth
Light a
place. He
candle.
got second.
Yeah.
They're winners in my book.
In
Yeah.
context, I have a couch that is just facing a blank wall in my apartment, so we need a little pizzazz on the wall to spice
Way to
it.
spice it up.
Yeah, so I guess in the meantime,
Good idea, though.
if y'all have anybody, drop them down in the comments or description of who you'd like to maybe have on the show with us.
Jose from Home Depot. Find him.
fuck it. Bring them. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it would be cool to maybe not, like I said, every week, but maybe start to bring on somebody and see what they're up to, what they're growing, what they're trying to bring to the RVA
Pull
scene.
Jake off the course.
If we can,
Yeah,
man.
it's been a while.
Got a few tea
Comes
times
in and
lined
his
up.
Does he hit off the handicap?
The female
block.
the female
Oh.
block, the female tee, which I've heard, and I guess this is a thing. If you miss or whiff, if you don't hit your ball off the tee past the female tee, you have to play the rest of the game with your dick out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so there's a lot of pressure on that first swing. And fortunately, the only time I played golf, I made it past the female tee, which is like however many yards above the regular tee. But yeah, if you supposedly miss it, the rule is you got to pull your dick out the fly and play with it out of the fly the rest of the game.
Not play with it.
Oh no, not play with the dick, but that'd be kind of weird. I mean, not that your dick
Weird in general.
but yeah, you're forced to pull your dick out. But anyways,
Get
fun
these
fact.
questions.
Yeah, let's dig. So I'll start first. It usually starts down there. I'll start today.
So.
Let's go. Answer the internet. If you could bang any celebrity, but you'd have to make a sex tape with them that would go viral, would you do it? So like a Kim Kardashian sex tape.
It'd be a short one. For sure. Did you say who?
Yeah,
Any-
dude,
any
let's say who.
Well, the one I keep going to is Scarlett Johansson. I just find her to be very appealing, and it's the only one that comes to mind. If I really dug deep into it, I'm sure I could find other ones. But she's just one that's guaranteed rocking. I'd want her with the brunette hair though, like in Black Widow. I know you're into blondes, but I feel like definitely more of a brunette guy. But just full package, I feel like she's got it. And I'd be fine. I'd probably get. I don't think I'd bring it in a way that you'd. Especially if that's your first time with that, that celebrity. It's gonna be a quick one, and it's not gonna be my best. Might even be my worst.
It probably would.
But you know what? The thing is, you can't even make fun of me because I was with them and you weren't. So I feel like I'd do it all day. Wouldn't think about it.
Would it be POV or would it be set camera off to the side?
See, I'm more of a POV guy, but with me filming it, I'd probably just set up the camera. I don't want to have to worry about that. That's another thing I have to worry about.
I'd lose train of thought and things would just deflate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, yes. Not sure who off the top of my head, but if I had free range, I could definitely find something.
Who was the girl you were saying was hot last week that we said no?
Anne Hathaway.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yep. But she probably wouldn't be my first pick. But y'all just said that she was not, and I said yes to her. But I don't know off the top of my head. If it was going to go viral, it would have to be cherry picked for sure. And as the same thing, I also think it probably wouldn't be my best.
You know who I like is Sandra Bullock. In a different way.
Maybe
it's not
10
like
years ago.
It's not like not now, but I'm saying she's not the most attractive, but I kind of like the way she carries herself and the role she plays.
Yeah,
she seems like a nice mom and dominant kind of
Oh,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, I feel like she'd be.
But
nice.
I definitely think it would probably be a wild one to watch because I'd have to pull out all my moves. Like if it's like a celebrity, you're like, oh, I gotta impress. I'm pulling out all the moves.
A few shots to just
I'd be
deaden
pulling
nerves.
all the angles, the flips, the switches, the back flips, the whatever. I'm throwing them out and getting nasty. And again, I probably would. At first, I'd be embarrassed, but at the same time, I'd be like, I had a good time. That's all that matters, right?
That's true.
And yeah, I got it. You didn't. Nana boo boo, stick your head in doo doo.
Yeah.
I'm better than you.
Yeah.
That's true. I would say yes, and mine would be Emilia Clarke.
Do we have to Google that?
Would you make her?
Dragon Lady from Game of Thrones?
Daenerys,
Don't know her.
Would you make her wear the blonde hair?
Yeah,
Yeah, she has to.
absolutely.
Can y'all pull up a-
Absolutely.
can y'all pull up a picture?
Yeah.
I literally don't
Yeah,
know
sure,
who you're talking about.
She's definitely. She is very attractive.
Never
I
watched
definitely enjoyed watching her scenes. But,
One episode. Did she ever
She'd
get it
have
on
to
the show?
wear.
Oh yeah, she was like
for
raped
sure.
on
in
the
first,
show.
in the first
Okay.
episode.
Okay.
But
Certain
she's pretty
things
attractive.
flopping in the wind.
Oh, I
yeah.
remember you saying you had the thing for blonde, so yeah.
Yeah.
She'd have to throw the wig
But
on.
Well,
her,
she's very voluptuous as well, so that's the other thing I feel like.
Voluptuous,
There's
man.
not many starlets within Hollywood that
But
I
see,
feel like are, you
That's
know...
some shape.
brunette
that's
hair
got some
though,
shape.
man,
Oh,
it's like a
dang.
different person. It's
Yeah.
like a different person.
But still, she's pretty attractive brunette, I feel like.
Oh shit! I thought
Yeah.
that's her.
I mean, that is her, but she's definitely better in the show than she is like outside of the show. She's not bad outside the
see, let me
show,
see that.
but it's just not the same, you know.
I don't know. I,
I
feel
think
like she'd
she's
be a
all
great
done up.
wife, too.
She seemed like she could cook
My
well.
wife.
Seems like she
That's
could
my
cook well and
wife.
do such. Yeah.
Damn.
So,
So yeah, I guess we all said yes. Of course, who wouldn't take that offer up?
yeah.
Because then you'd probably have a following after that too. You'd be that
Yeah,
dude.
that's how Kim Kardashian
That's
got
literally
famous.
how you
It
blow
is
up.
part of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
keeping up with the Griffin.
Yeah.
The group.
The Griffin. Yeah.
I know.
All right.
And then I would just have to start talking like, so today,
Bunch of bitches.
yeah.
It's the internet. Would you rather have the ability to see through cards when gambling, or get 150 million? Cash in. I'm getting 150 million because if you see through the card, you still have to try and win it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just get the money right then and there. I don't want to have to sit and through a bunch of casinos trying to win till the point I get the 150.
I agree. I would do
I get
150.
kicked out counting cards and shit.
Well, yeah, that, and you like you said, you have to still play to win. It doesn't matter because if your hand sucks, it sucks. And I think 150 million. That's a good starting point to where you definitely
A small
people
loan
like-
of $1 million.
people like us, I don't think are stupid enough to blow like most celebrities where
Yeah.
they blow through 150 million in 3 years they're broke again and in debt. I think you could reinvest that 150 and flip it and make that thing work very quickly and be set.
Would you go to a financial advisor?
Probably, I'd like to hear what they have to say.
I would. What I'd probably do is maybe blow like 25 million on dumb shit first,
Easy.
or with things I
25
want.
million.
Out of
Yeah.
150.
No, I mean, like, what do you have that you would want to blow on dumb shit?
Well,
from
that would be like my
Like a new
$25
car,
million
a new car,
I think-
a house, things like
Let's
that.
think of it this way:
Buying a roller
if you
coaster.
did 25 million and you gave yourself $1 million a year, like you'd have money for 25 years.
So I'd do that. I'd take 50 million and put it in savings, and then have like 100 million to invest in like certain properties, and have like commercial and residential real estate properties.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I'd have that like 25 million left over for kind of I don't know what I'd do with that, but it's extra. But point is, I'd definitely have some like spending money for just dumb stuff, and then majority is savings and investments. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do
yep.
that too. I don't know. I'd probably take the money, rich or poor. Like I don't really have like an elaborate house that I feel like I'd want to buy. So I'd just buy like a cheap cabin, at least some land, have it fully paid off, maybe
know what I
like
was thinking
3 to
about
5
that?
acres or something like that, and then take care of the rest and just live off the interest essentially.
For sure.
I feel like if I got anything under 50 million, I feel like I'd still, of course, enjoy life, get what I wanted. I feel like it'd be great, right? But honestly, getting that much money, I feel like it's like when you put in the cheat codes in a video game and you get through all the missions, but then you're like, I don't even really want to play this anymore. Like, I've gotten everything. It's almost like it would take a while to get to that point. I get it. But I feel like at some point, you're almost like you skipped all the missions, and it's like there's not a ton else to do.
And you hear about that with people that have a lot of money, and the way they seem and they talk about how they get their rocks off still and like level up is by giving their money away to like people that need it, or
Yeah, and then
building
you can try
shit,
and earn
high
it back,
schools,
yeah.
Or
building-
they become part of
gotta
the
have-
international cabal of like, I don't know, globalist pedophiles.
Oh,
or
on,
something like that.
Epstein's
Yeah.
Island.
Epstein, yeah. I feel like you got to have some kind of pursuit of like something non-financial at that point, so trying to make some legacy. I guess that's
Go to
what
Mars.
Elon's doing. Yeah.
I have
But-
a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's say you did everything you wanted to do, you got some play around money. Would there be a certain company that you would want to invest into? or maybe have some sort of idea that you would like buy into the company and then maybe push for them to maybe, I don't know, start working on something that you had in mind, let's say?
I think I'd invest real hard. 3 companies off the top of my head. Sorry, I'm giving it 3. First, and I know it seems like, it's too late, but I don't think they're ever going to go away. Facebook, because I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think it's always, like, Instagram, Snapchat, that shit will probably end up dying. But Facebook, I think it's going to be here.
I feel
Dude's
like
too smart.
Instagram would be the longevity one.
Maybe. I don't know if
Facebook is
TikTok
just
will end up
turning into,
knocking
like,
that one.
boomer. Yeah.
But I think it's always going to be there because what's his name is just very, very smart and like locked into the government now, or probably paid off by them. But anyways, besides Facebook, Amazon,
Oh, true.
and then probably some type of company with Elon because he's still young, he's still in the game, he's still fresh.
Yeah.
I think he's still going to be cranking out work.
Maybe Tesla, Amazon, and I really like Apple. Like, I know it's like a safe bet, and they kind of just, they don't make... I can't even... I feel like it'd be so rude to say they don't make innovative products. I think we're just so used to something new coming out every year that the steps can't be so large.
Yeah.
But I feel like they do have just such clean, professional products. The branding is just so, like, perfect that, like, when you open a brand new Apple product or computer, it's just, like, you feel luxurious, you feel amazing. And, I don't know, I just... If I could, like, make a room in my house like an Apple store, it'd be pretty cool. But, yeah, that's probably...
What do you got, Griff?
I would probably do Tesla as well, just because, hearing some of the things that Elon Musk has to say, I almost feel like if I could take some of the load off of his plate, or, like, at least invest enough to where, like, okay, you don't have to worry about that as much anymore. It's interesting to me to hear him say, like, oh, yeah, after we do this, like, we're gonna, like, solve planes not having to take off from a runway anymore. So I almost want to be like, okay, write out every idea you have, and, like, let's get people on that sort of thing.
Let's speed that up.
The other thing I would say is, they are joined, but, like, I think it would be, I would like to invest in more of, like, I guess, like, Amazon is tied with Whole Foods. I would like to have almost to where the things, since Whole Foods has, like, a certain standard of, like, their fish is, like, from certain places, or, like, most everything in there is, like, organic. Their cows and beef are, like, local, grass-fed, other things like that. I would like to make that more available, and maybe tied in competition with, like, a Kroger. Yeah, because I feel like that should be the standard within the country. I would like to push away from a factory farm. I would like to have more of a focus back on, small family farmers doing things throughout the community, because that's something I loved when I lived in Montana. It was cool to open a restaurant menu and see, oh, your pizza tonight that's, like, wood-fired, the cheese is from 10 miles away, and the mineral water, whatever is, like, or the crust is cooked in this kind of water that's from this reservoir. It's nice to kind of feel like, I know exactly where this is coming from. Like, minimal hands and processing has been done to this. I just feel like that should be more of the standard here as well. We've gotten a little too far down the wrong direction, I feel like, just with the goal of maximizing profit or maximizing efficiency or something like that.
You're more in quality, integrity.
Well, yeah, and also just, like, I don't know, my aunt has a farm, and I just like getting fresh honey or, like, fresh eggs or other things like that. I feel like it would be nice to have more of that kind of environment or neighborhood feeling for, different towns and communities across the country, too. And then I don't know if I have a third one. I'd bring back Blockbuster.
Yeah, there's something about... I feel like you and me both are just such, like, boomers with millennial stuff to where it's like, and I really shouldn't be for my age, but, like, older music, and then actual, like, going to, like, a Blockbuster to get a movie and appreciating that versus just blowing through a season on, like, Netflix and, like, waiting every Sunday with your family to watch the new episode of whatever it is. It's like those little things you just kind of take for granted. Everything's immediate now.
True.
And I feel like sometimes, like, you just appreciate things more with patience. Like we were talking last night, like, you're very kind of into, like, cooking. I don't know if it's somewhat recent, like in the past year or so, if you've always been into it, but I feel like that's something that I appreciate and understand. But then I know, like, myself, I don't have enough of an excitement to have the patience to, like, spend 2 hours cooking, like, a certain meal that seems very intricate and everything. I don't know. I just feel like, but there is so much value in things that you wait for. You know, it's kind of interesting though that I'll still have the patience though to brew coffee a certain way instead of just hitting the button on the Keurig. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of like I pick and choose, I guess, my battles.
And I think it's specific. I don't know. I kind of feel like too. Like if I ever had a family, I would want to kind of have the same experiences. Like I miss going to the Blockbuster with my dad and like walking down the aisles and being like, oh, let's look at that one, versus now I like eat alone in the dark, like hunched over my computer with YouTube on the side, just like I don't know. I don't have like a family dinner or anything like that anymore, to where I don't know. It like you said, we are kind of boomers in that mentality. I do
another
feel
thing.
like there was a certain time period with music, with movies, with businesses where it wasn't just based off of making money or something like
Yeah,
that.
no, what you
wasn't
said
just based
about,
off of sales.
I definitely had like consistent family dinners growing up, and you know, although like I feel like from middle school on they were kind of useless and awkward, and just my parents complaining about their coworkers. I feel like that is so crucial to just have a moment with people and just putting our phones down. Like even something like this where we're just having conversations, it's almost like I look forward to it so much just to have genuine, long-lasting conversations with no technology.
Yeah,
Versus
when we had
computer
your
mic, but
thing
it's
at your
nice.
sister's house, and
That was really
Yeah,
nice,
we
yeah.
had a good
And
night
I don't
with
get
that.
out that much for things like that. Or, you know, we've talked about it, like general parties that are, you know, with our age group, is just, you know, people drinking, or like, you know, they have to have some kind of activity that involves like some kind of alcohol or some, you know, beer pong or some party, and that's fine and that's, you know, good. But sometimes just being around people and just like conversating, meeting new people, and you know, like when we went over there, we had no clue anyone was except Griffin, you and Jake, and you know, it still was a good time to just meet genuine people and people that were very welcoming, and it kind of just made you feel at home, and you leave there with a good feeling in your heart, and I feel like that's rare to have nowadays.
And I don't know if you guys had this, but like a lot of growing up for me, like social events with friends, since we all kind of lived in the country, we would just like get a fire going and just like sit around and talk. Or especially in the summer too, a lot of our days we would go down to a place called Urbana, and I just remember so many afternoons getting a big cold piece of watermelon, sitting on the edge of the dock, and just like talking, maybe casting a rod here and there, and just seeing how far you can spit the seeds. Like it almost is like a Norman Rockwell painting or something, but there's something very, I don't want that to die out.
There's just something about, I don't know, it's like, well, obviously, but something about real life experiences, like you said, like it kind of, you're talking about like sunflower seeds and spitting those and stuff like that. You know, I go back to like my days of playing baseball and like all the little tournaments and games, and it's like those are so much more memorable and meaningful versus, oh, I watched, you know, Breaking Bad, Prison Break. I've done all these different things. It's like those are cool experiences, and we talked about it on the last podcast. You need to have time for entertainment and leisure, and just kind of like BS time is what I'd call it.
Yeah.
But you also just can't replace like actual meaningful, with tangible objects, events, and things that you kind of, you know, can have experiences with. I don't know, but maybe that's just our nostalgia just kicking in. But
True.
But those events made the nostalgia, you know.
I don't know. It is something I feel like a lot of my birthday parties we'd have laser tag or paintball, to where now I feel like it's like
the kids just go and
let's
play Fortnite at each other.
Yeah.
Like I see like Maddie's brother, and he's 11, and like you know, it just constantly playing like a lot of hours on Fortnite. I mean, I play a lot of Xbox in like middle and high school and stuff, but you know, I just remember when I was younger though, like you said, we go to GeForce, we go to bowling alleys, we go to, you know, we'd be doing things outside, riding our bikes, and there's definitely still some pockets of America and definitely cultures outside of America that do that. But it's almost like, you know, we've gone so far in one direction, we need to kind of bring it back to more, you know, physical things that aren't digital. And I feel like a lot of the kids are starting to get hit with that though now, with, you know, they're having an abundance of time to actually play video games, that a lot of them are getting pooped out right now and they miss school. I've actually heard that like there's a lot of these kids that miss school. Granted, I'm like, you're probably not in high school or middle school.
Yeah.
There's a lot more work to do, but still, like they actually like miss kind of having like a purpose or task to do each day. But
For sure. And speaking of like these little get-togethers, I've talked about it. We still haven't really put anything in stone, which the state is finally starting to open up. But we need to go out. We need to either go like to a cabin,
do a potluck dinner, or that would be
I mean,
better.
I'm
but
talking
eventually
like
too.
well,
Yeah.
I would definitely
Like a
have
weekend getaway.
like our monthly little get-together,
Yeah.
or whatever. But then also like plan a trip to where we can like go
That'd be
rent
good, yeah.
a cabin, just go for a long weekend, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of like things y'all grew up with, like GeForce and laser tag, which I did. One huge thing, and I guess not that I'm like old. I'm like much older than y'all, but did y'all ever go roller skating?
I was gonna say that we used to
go
have skate
America,
night. Yeah,
Skate America.
I know
down
when
Mechanicsville
I
all
went
the
to
time.
actually, it's probably more closer towards your area,
Sock night.
Ashland skate park or skate night or
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
Like I went
I can't
there with a
remember
girl
Ashland.
one time.
And that's
yeah.
still open. Ashland
Skateland or
Skateland.
Skate Nation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just remember too because they had all those machines. You put in the quarter, turn it, or like I don't know. I do miss that a lot.
That's where I like all my little young girlfriends would be there, and like I had a couple of them.
Yeah.
And, like you'd get some pizza, you'd roller skate until midnight, and like they'd play like the hottest hits. You go request music.
Hold her hand. You're like,
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, this is living, baby. You got Bruce Springsteen in the background. No, I'm just kidding. Usually for us, it was Aaron Carter.
I remember the song. The song they play all the time, and it's still before my time. Was "You Dropped a Bomb on Me"?
Oh, yeah.
Baby.
That was kind of like
Yeah.
disco there. That's funny.
But yeah, good times, good times.
I just can't stand music. Anything like I told you, but past 2010, it's like doesn't really get me that excited. But anything,
I feel
especially
like-
before 2000,
Especially like
Just to
hip
make
hop
yeah.
and stuff like that. I don't think they're making anything that's going to be memorable. Like
That's
just
what
to
I
get the
try to
most
tell
streams.
people.
It's to
Dude,
be
even-
viral.
Even
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, like massive artist.
Yummy.
Everyone who knows who that is, name me other than Baby, like one song that you think is gonna actually be even Baby. Like name a song that's gonna be like 20 years from now. People are gonna be like,
Yeah.
that
Well,
was it
classic.
at the
That
time.
song,
A classic.
the Yummy
Yeah.
song that he just
It's
made.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, this is just. I feel like
On repeat.
somebody is just being hired to say what's gonna stick in people's heads, and like
Yummy.
let's make this.
Dude, I couldn't tell you like one song that jumps out to me about like this generation or anything. And like the Old Town Road is basically like a meme, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
no like bands or groups that you're like,
It
oh,
all has
that's
like
it.
a
you know?
dance associated.
Yeah.
It is who can go viral the quickest. Who can get the biggest cash grab, I
Yeah.
guess. You know, it's nothing like I don't know, just like heartfelt
Yeah,
and like with some
there's-
Yeah,
soul.
like I look over there and I see like Incubus, like Pardon Me, and I'm like, yes, that
Yeah,
or
dude, like
Drive,
they,
and it's
I
like
mean,
those
they
are
s-
classics.
and they're still big. Like
Yeah.
they still go on tour all the time. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like when someone would be like, oh, what's your favorite group? Like you'd have a band and you'd be like, yeah, I had this. Like remember this album? Instead of like albums nowadays are just like the one hit song and then they drop a bunch of filler
Yeah,
trash,
singles.
and it's like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know. We could go off forever on that, but might be a good ending point. Oh no, you got one more
I
question.
do, yes.
Jeez.
Would you have a threesome with your girlfriend and her hot friend if you also had to have a threesome with your girlfriend and another dude?
Of course not.
But you want your girlfriend on OnlyFans or your wife on OnlyFans?
They aren't putting D's and
Yeah, that's a
D's
good
in her,
point.
and smacking her in the face with it. It's like,
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Wouldn't be worth it. Wouldn't be worth it.
Easy answer. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either,
No,
truth be
never.
told.
There's no deal. No deal.
Yeah.
No
I feel
negotiating
like
there.
I could never look at it the same way
No.
again.
Yeah,
'Cause,
because then
like-
you couldn't be with that dude. You'd be like, oh, like yeah,
You remember that time, bro?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be like that at all. It would just be like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's how it would
She
be.
stared at you the whole time.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what if he did a better job than you?
That's
You'd
what
be
I'm saying,
oh,
like,
It would
what
always
if-
be in the
God.
back of
What
your
if
mind.
she
Yeah.
like finishes with him?
You'd be like,
And
I'm
it's
not
like,
good enough. Oh, you have to break up with her and be like,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Or what if you try to negotiate? Like, okay, that'll work, and then you go through the first part of the deal that's on your end, and you're like, actually, I don't think we should do this last
just
bit.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that is tough. That I don't know.
It's definitely a no deal, though.
No deal.
Yeah.
Like not even for money.
Look
No,
at us. We're a bunch
no.
of good church-going boys.
That's And we got a free man over here, ladies.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Going the eternal bachelor.
Yeah.
He makes good
Nobody's hit
decisions.
me up in quarantine. Nobody
on.
wants
Oh,
nobody
damn.
wants
Quarantine and chill?
Yeah, nobody wants a
I
quarantine.
feel like
and
anyone,
chill.
though, that's, like, trying to quarantine, I feel like you gotta be real lonely or bottom of the barrel, I feel like, for the most part.
Damn.
I feel like some of these people, though, because I feel like you're just, like, alone and horny, and you're just, like, anybody that's single, I'm just gonna DM them and, like,
What if you're lonely and bottom of the barrel?
you're not bottom of the barrel. Not putting you out there. But, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's some
Yeah,
people
no.
posting very frivolous photos trying
Most
to
definitely.
really get some excitement. But,
Oh,
Anyway.
maybe I'll have to re-download Instagram.
yeah.
See what's out there see what's hitting. You might find something. But anyways, I guess that is a good little stopping point. That's
Yeah.
almost 2 hours long.
That's a long
Damn.
one.
Well, anyways,
tank.
this is it for today, at least this show. And, I guess for an update for Gymflo, our sample should be here today. God damn it. We were hoping we would be able to try it on this show, but it's not. The way things play out with this shit, there's no point in waiting till next Monday because how long this shit takes, we need it nailed down today. So maybe on the next episode we might have some other bigger news. But in the meantime, anything you'd like to see or talk about or have anybody on the show, drop them in the comments below. Follow these guys on social media in the description below. Any ending notes or any way you'd like to finish off? Anything you got to say?
It's a good question. Kind of on the spot.
Nope, nothing.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't think I got anything
that's
either.
it, Jim. Back at you.
See ya.
Until next time. See y'all.